Hello students, let us see the solution of this JMMT. So in this question we have to find the current in the 6 ohm resistors. So here potential is assumed to be 0 volts. So naturally here the potential will be just a second. Yeah, so naturally here the potential will be 140. Here it will be 90. Let us assume the potential to be X volts here, and if I apply the nodal analysis at this location, so X minus 140 by 20, this will be the current flowing in the 20 ohm resistor from X to 140. Then X minus 0 by 6, this is the current flowing in the 6 ohm resistor, and X minus 90 upon 5. Okay, this is the current flowing in the 5 ohm resistor. That total should be 0. Now if we take the LCM as 120, or we can rather take LCM as 60 itself. So LCM is 60, so this will become 3x minus 420 plus 10x plus 12x minus 1080. That should be equal to 0. So from here we get 12 plus 10, 22 plus 3, 25x. That should be equals to 1500. Okay, 420 plus 1080 will be 1500. So x becomes 60 volts. Okay, that means the potential difference across this 6 ohm resistor is 60 minus 0. Okay, so current in the 6 ohm resistor will be 60 minus 0 upon 6. That means delta v by 6, delta v by r basically. That means 10 amperes. Okay, and the current will flow from higher potential to the lower potential. That means from x till 0. Okay, very easy question. In this question what is happening is that we have got one steel block which is of 10 kg. This is resting on the ground. Then we have got 1 2 3 blocks. So here 1 2 3 block, they are of iron blocks. Okay, they are the iron blocks. And when the entire system, like if you keep these 3 iron blocks on the steel block, then the entire system is going down with an acceleration of 0.2. So we have to find the normal reaction from the ground. Okay, now let me assume, or let me represent the entire system by a single block. Okay, entire system. So basically 1 2 3, they are iron blocks and each block is of mass 20 kg. So these 3 blocks will total of 60, will be uh, having a total mass of 60 kg, and one steel block which is of 10 kg, so total mass will be 70 kg. All right, normal reaction from the ground, let us say, is n. Then mg will be acting down, which will be 70 g. So we can write simple force equation that downward force minus upward force will be equals to mass into acceleration. So from here normal reaction becomes 700, this is 700 minus 14, so this becomes how much? 686 Newton. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. All right, let us see the next one. Here what is happening? Here there is an AC voltage 20 sine omega t of frequency 50 hertz, which is applied to a parallel plate capacitor. All right, so basically we have an AC circuit. Okay, the plate separation is 2 mm, plate area is 1 meter square. The amplitude of oscillating displacement current. Okay, so basically you remember that whenever a capacitor is connected with some voltage, so you have a displacement current that flows between the capacitor plates. Okay, and also if you recall, the displacement current between the capacitor plates is equals to the conduction current flowing through the wires. Okay, this I conduction is equals to I displacement. All right, now how that means, if we find the, since we have to find the amplitude of the displacement current, so we can also find the amplitude of this oscillating current. Okay, conduction current. Okay, now what is the conduction current? So this conduction current is nothing but the current which flows in the simple capacitive AC circuit. You might recall that this current can be written as I naught sine of omega t plus phi, right? This is the same current that you might have learned in the simple AC circuits. Okay, this is a pure capacitive circuit, and if you remember, this phi will be pi by 2, because in a pure capacitive circuit the current leads the voltage by a phase of pi by 2. Anyway, in this question the value of phi is not required. We have to find this value. Basically this is the peak value of the conduction current, and as I said, this will also be the peak value of the displacement current, because at any time displacement current is always equals to conduction current. Okay, so we can say that I naught will be V naught, which is the peak voltage, upon XC. Okay, XC. Remember what is XC? XC is the capacitive reactance. Okay, so if you remember, XC is 1 by omega C. So that means this is 1 by omega C, and which means I naught will become V naught into omega C. Now, very easy question. V naught is what? V naught is this peak voltage, which is nothing but 20. Okay, omega is 2 pi f. okay, 2 pi f, and capacitance is epsilon naught a by d, okay, epsilon naught a by d, okay. So now we can just put the values here. So I naught will be is equals to 20 into 2 into pi, which is 3.14, into frequency is 50, okay. Epsilon naught will be 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12, okay, into area. Plate area is 1 meter square, okay, divide by d. D. D is the 2 mm. D is 2 mm. So that will become 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, now we can just do the calculations here. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Okay, you can see this 20 and 50 multiplied will become 1000, and this when goes in the numerator will become 10 to the power 6. So these three circles which I have done, so these three will become 10 to the power 6, and it will make this as 10 to the power minus 6. So we are left with 3.14 into 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 6. And this value, if you do, so 8, the 8.85 into 3.14, this will be nearly 27.79 approximately, and this into 10 to the power minus 6 amperes. Okay, that means this will become 27.79 micro ampere. All right, which means option C is the correct answer for this question. Let us see the next one. Here what is happening? So here basically you have a region 1 and region 2. Okay, region 1 and region 2. So this is region 1 and this is region 2. Okay, they are separated by a spherical surface of radius 25 centimeters. An object is kept in region 1 at a distance of 40 centimeter from the surface. So here we have kept an object, and this distance is 40 centimeters. Okay, this distance is 40 centimeters, so object is kept here. Okay, the radius of this spherical surface is 25. We have to find the distance of the image from this surface. So it's a case of refraction at the spherical surface, remember. And the formula for this is mu2 by b minus mu1 by u is equals to mu2 minus mu1 by r. All right, then remember mu2 is the medium in which light goes after refraction. So light is will start from the object and it will go in the medium 2. Okay, so mu2 is basically 1.4. So mu2 ko you will write 1.4. We have to calculate mu1 is the medium from which light comes, so that is 1.25. Light comes from 1.25. Okay, and u is the object distance, and that you will put minus 40. This distance is minus 40. Why minus 40? Because incident light is going in the right direction and the object was kept from the negative side of this pole, you can say negative side of the surface. Okay, which is why this will be minus 40. So mu2 is again 1.4 minus mu1 is again 1.25 divided by r. Radius of curvature will also be negative. Same reason, because the center of curvature lies on the left of the pole. Okay, whereas the light ray was going from like towards the right direction, which is why you will put negative sign. So from here you will write 1.4 by v, and this will become this 1.25 so you can write 5 by 4. Okay, and 4 into 40 will become 160. All right, so 1.4 minus 1.25 is how much? This is 0.15. Okay, divide by 25. Okay, so this becomes 1.4 by v. All right, and this is how much? This is like you can write 15 upon 2500, and this will come on the right side. This is 5 by 160 is how much? 5 by 160 is 1 by 32. Okay, so this is 5 into 3, 5 into 500. So we get minus 3 by 500 and minus 3 by 500 minus 1 by 32. So 1 by 32. Okay, this is the value of v we are getting. Now this is just calculations. So if you see this minus 3 by 500 can be written as minus 6 upon 1000. That means minus 0.006. Okay, minus 6 upon 1000, and this will be minus 0.006, and minus 1 by 32. Okay, minus 1 by 32 will be 2 to the power 5. So basically, okay, so now we can do this calculation. So it will be nearly, you can divide by 100, basically 100 by 32. Okay, so this is 2, this will be what, 2 into 16, this is 50, this was 1 by 32, right? Yeah, so 2 into 8, 2 into what, 25. 25 by 8 is how much? 3.125, right? 3.125. That means this will be how much? This will be 0.003125. Okay, 0.003, basically, no, I think it will be 0.0315. My bad. Basically, this will be 3.125 divided by 100. Yeah, so this will be 0.0315. Okay, 1.0. You can do the calculations. I'm just doing like this. Okay, so from here 1.4 by V becomes how much? Minus a point 0.03 and 6 and 1 will become 7.25. Okay, so V will be how much? 1.4 upon minus 0.03725. Okay, now you can do this. You will get this nearly 37.58. Okay, value of V will be nearly 37.58. It will be negative. Negative means that the image will be found on the left side itself. Okay, somewhere over here the image will be found, but they are asking the distance, which is why option D will be the correct answer for this question. All right, let us see the next one. So here there is a person whose mass is 100 kg. He travels from Earth to Mars in a spaceship. Neglect all other objects in the sky, and we have to just consider the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the Earth as 10 and on the Mars as 4. Identify from the below figures which curve will best represent the weight of the person as a function of time. Now see, let's assume that this is the Earth, all right, and let's say this is the Mars, all right. Now it is very obvious. See, weight of the person will be mass into g. Now this g is the effective gravity. Basically you can say effective gravity, and you must understand that gravity at any point will be the effective gravity due to the Mars plus Earth. So at the surface of the Earth, the gravity due to Earth will be in this direction, and because of the Mars, it will be very small, but it will be towards the Mars. So remember, this 4 value is on the Mars surface, not on the Earth surface. So basically, this value is 4 at the surface of the Mars, and this value 10 is at the surface of the Earth. Now, as the person will go away from Earth to Mars, slowly, the value of the gravity due to Earth will decrease. So, because of Earth, it will be decrease. It will become 9, 8, 7, and because of Mars, this value will increase. So, for example, just I'm giving you an idea. Just imagine that because of the Mars, the gravity at the surface of the Earth at the point P1 is, let's say, half. Okay, so let's say half. Just assuming, so half. Okay, that means the net gravity at the surface of the Earth, which is P1, is 10 minus half. 10 towards the right direction minus half towards the left direction. So that means 9.5. So effective gravity at the surface of the Earth is 9.5. Okay, so the weight will be m into 9.5. Okay, I'm just giving you an idea. Now basically what will happen as the person approaches the point P2? Okay, that means as it goes slowly towards P2, so the value of gravity of the Earth will decrease. So 10 will become 9, it will become 8, and this half will start increasing because of the Mars will apply more and more force. So half will become 1, it will become 2. Okay, so you can see the value of the gravity is decreasing. Okay, value of the effective gravity. Okay, because rightwards the value of the Earth has become 8 gravity, and let's say because of Mars it has become 2. So effective gravity has become 8 minus 2, which is 6. So you understand what is happening. Slowly the weight of the person will decrease. Now there will be a point where the gravity of the Earth will exactly balance the gravity due to the Mars, right? At this point the effective gravity will be 0. Okay, at this point the effective gravity will be 0, and at this point the person will have 0 weight. At this point person will have 0 weight. The moment person crosses this point, okay, P naught, now the gravity of the Mars will dominate over the gravity of the Earth. That means, let us say Mars has a gravity of, let's say, let's say 3. Okay, and let us say Earth has a gravity of 2 at this point. Okay, at this point, so now the effective gravity will become 3 minus 2 towards left now. Okay, that means the weight of the person will now again become positive value. Okay, and but this time the weight will be towards the left direction, or you can say now the person will be attracted towards the Mars. Okay, and slowly as person reaches P2, then again his weight will keep on increasing, because now the weight basically the gravity of the Mars is increasing continuously, and Earth will keep on decreasing. Okay, so if you understood the trend, the initially the weight of the person like was very high because of the gravity of the Earth minus the gravity of the Mars, then decreases becomes 0, and then again it starts increasing. Okay, that is what the variation of the weight will look like. So if you look into the given curves, so option C is absolutely perfect, because they are showing you decrease. Here the weight becomes 0, you can see weight becomes 0, and then it further starts increasing. Okay, then so that is the idea. Okay, so option C is the perfect graph. I hope you would have understood. No other graph is showing you the same variation. All right, in this question there's a deuteron and an alpha particle having equal kinetic energy. They both enter perpendicular into a magnetic field. let Rd and R alpha be the respective radii of the circular path. So we have to find the value of Rd to R alpha. Okay, so basically what we have a deuteron, okay, and we have a alpha particle. So basically deuteron is an isotope of you can say hydrogen, basically heavy hydrogen it is called. Okay, and it's, you can write that as 1h2. So basically it's you can say atomic number is 1 but its mass number is 2. Okay, so this is deuteron. All right, and alpha particle is the helium nucleus. Okay, alpha particle is the helium nucleus. Okay, its atomic number is 2 but mass number is 4. Okay, so if we compare the charges, so basically, if you call here the charge as Q, then here the charge will be 2Q, right? Because atomic number is 2. And if you call here the mass as M, so here the mass will be 4M because mass number is double of the, sorry, mass number is, mass will be 2M, not 4M. Because this value we are calling as M, that means this value will be 2M, right? So that is the idea. Now, basically they have equal kinetic energy, okay, and they both enter perpendicular to the magnetic field. So we have to find the ratio of the radii. Now, if you remember, when a charged particle enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, so it performs UCM, and the radius of the circular motion is given by mv by qb. Okay, mv by qb. Now, mv can be written as linear momentum of the particle, and linear momentum has a direct relation with the kinetic energy. Linear momentum is under root 2 into mass into kinetic energy. So this value is the linear momentum, which can be written as under root 2 mk upon qb. All right, qb. Okay, so if you understand, basically see, kinetic energy of both the particles were equal. So effectively, and they both are moving in the same magnetic field. So basically the radius will be proportional to under root of mass upon charge. All right, so radius of deuteron upon radius of alpha particle. Okay, that will be is equals to under root of mass of deuteron upon charge of deuteron, and here you will get mass of the alpha particle into the charge on the alpha particle. Okay, now mass of the deuteron was m, so this will become root m. Charge on the deuteron was q. Okay, mass of the alpha particle was 2m, and mass on the charge on the alpha particle was 2q. All right, this q and q gets cancelled, m and m gets cancelled, so effectively we get root 2. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. All right, let us see the next one. Here there's a nucleus of mass m which emits a gamma ray photon of frequency nu. Let's call this as f for the time being, because the symbol is slightly, it looks like a velocity, so I'm changing the symbol to, sorry, and wait, yeah, so I'm changing the symbol to f so that it is more clear. Okay, the total translational kinetic energy of the system is, okay, so basically let us understand what is happening. There's a nucleus of mass m. Right now it is at rest. Okay, now what happens, let us say it emits a gamma ray photon towards left, let us say, and so this gamma ray photon has a frequency f. Okay, so we can write the momentum of this gamma ray photon. What is the momentum of the gamma ray photon? So see, momentum of the gamma ray photon is P of gamma. So momentum of any photon is written as h upon lambda. Okay, and lambda can be written as, lambda is the wavelength of the photon, so that can be written as speed of the photon, which is c upon frequency. Okay, so this is what you can write as the momentum of the photon. Now if you look at the nucleus was at rest, so its initial momentum was 0, but the moment it emits a photon towards left with this momentum, so because of the recoil, this nucleus will also start moving towards right with the equal momentum, right? Because the net momentum of the system needs to be 0, because earlier it was 0. So we can say that this nucleus will also start moving towards right with the equal momentum, so that momentum of the system is 0. Okay, momentum of the system is 0. So we can say that momentum of the this nucleus, okay, will also be is equals to same value, because net momentum needs to be 0, which means this will also be hf by c, right? Now, what is the question is asking, what is the total translational kinetic energy of the system? So that means the total energy of the gamma ray photon. Okay, total energy of the gamma ray photon is what? Basically, it is h into f. Okay, this is the energy of the gamma ray photon plus energy of the nucleus. So half mv square. Okay, half mv square. This is what you will write. So now see, the idea here is that um, f is given in this question. Okay, but half mv square. So this is the kinetic energy of the system, right? This is the kinetic energy of the system. So kinetic energy of the system can be written as p square. Kinetic energy can be written as p square, momentum square upon twice into mass, right? Momentum square upon twice into mass. This is the kinetic energy of the nucleus. So this we can write as P pm square upon 2 into mass of the nucleus. All right, and this value we already know is hf by c. So this will become h square f square, okay, by 2mc square. Okay, so from here if we take h into f common, so we get 1 plus h into f upon 2mc square. Okay, now in the question this symbol was new, which I had changed it to f. So if you look into the options with the new symbol, so option D matches perfectly. All right, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, here what is happening, there's a charge which has been divided into small q and q minus q. So basically there's a charge q, let us say. Okay, it has been broken down into two smaller charges q and remaining is capital Q minus q. Now the let us say we are keeping this q at this place and remaining q minus q at this place at a distance of r from each other. So we have to find the value of small q basically, or how should be the division done so that the force between them is repulsion, is maximum. Okay, so very easy question again. We using Coulomb's law we can write force as k into q minus q by r square. Okay, and we want this force to be maximum. So what should be the value of small q? Now look, this force will be maximum if this product is maximum, right? If this product is maximum, this thing is a constant. Okay, so basically this f is a function of small q. You can do many, like apply many methods, so I'll just use calculus. So df by dq, okay, df by dq is what? K by r square. Okay, and qq will become capital Q minus q square will become 2q on differentiation. And for f to be maximum, this value should be 0. That means q minus 2q should be 0. All right, that means q should be is equals to capital Q by 2. Remember, this will give you the maximum force only. Why? Because minimum force will be 0 if you put small q as 0. So we can say that 0 into capital Q minus q will tend to 0. I mean, if you choose a small q as 0, then the entire charge will be capital Q here, and here the charge will be 0. So minimum force will be 0. So I'm just trying to tell you why this will give you maxima and not minima. Okay, so that means q is equals to we can say capital Q by 2 will give you the maximum force. That means option B is the correct answer for this question. All right, let us see the next question here. So here the temperature at which the kinetic energy of the oxygen molecule becomes double of its value as 27 degrees Celsius. Very easy question. Kinetic energy of the any molecule is written as F by 2 kT. Okay, F by 2 k into temperature. Here temperature should be in Kelvin. Okay, so this 27 degrees Celsius becomes 300 Kelvin. So kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. K is the Boltzmann's constant and F is the number of degrees of freedom. Okay, question is, so basically as of now the kinetic energy of the oxygen molecule is F by 2. So F is basically 5 for oxygen if we ignore the vibrational degrees of freedom. So 5 by 2 into 3 k into 300. So basically the question is asking that at what temperature this kinetic energy will become double. So clearly at 600 Kelvin. Okay, at 600 Kelvin this temperature will this kinetic energy will double. If you double the temperature, kinetic energy will double. So final temperature should be 600 Kelvin. Now 600 Kelvin is also 327 degrees Celsius. That means option D will be the correct answer for this question. All right. Then in this question what happens is that statement 1 says in a diatomic molecule the rotational energy at a given temperature obeys Maxwell distribution, and statement 2 says that in a diatomic molecule the rotational energy at a given temperature equals the translational kinetic energy of each molecule. Let me talk about statement 2 first. Okay, statement 2 is clearly wrong. Why? Because if you recall, the kinetic energy, whether it is of rotation or translation or vibration, it can be written as F by 2 kT. Okay, where T is the temperature. So for a diatomic molecule, we have two rotational degrees of freedom, which means the rotational kinetic energy will be 2 by 2 kT, which means it will be kT. And the translational kinetic energy will be 3 by 2 kT, because it has three, every diatomic molecule has three translational degrees of freedom. Hence, statement 2 was wrong, all right, because they are not equal. But one more important information we get from here is that translational kinetic energy for a diatomic molecule is 3 by 2 times rotational kinetic energy. Okay, kT is equals to k, like we can write this value here. So basically k translational is 3 by 2 kr. Now if I talk about statement 1, look, statement 1 is correct. Why? Because Maxwell speed distribution function, if you where the velocity is on the x-axis, it looks like this. Okay, basically this kind of a graph it looks like, where on the y-axis you have number of molecules basically, or the like function, Maxwell function, So on the x-axis you have velocity, okay, or the speed of each molecule. Okay, now the idea here is that on the y-axis you can draw the like you can have number of molecules for each value of speed. Okay, now the idea here is that key see the relation between the kinetic energy or translational kinetic energy and the speed is it will be squared. So I mean kinetic energy, translational kinetic energy is half mv square. So graph wise, if I talk about graph wise, we can say that the variation will be exactly the same. I mean, qualitatively, the graph is just going to look like same. It is just squaring. So basically, visually, the graph will not change if you plot translational kinetic energy here. So basically, the variation will exactly be the same. Mathematically, the function will change, but looks wise, the graph will be somewhat like that only. All right. uh, so we can say that the number of molecules versus the speed, whether you draw a number of molecules versus the kinetic energy, the graphical representation will be visually the graph will look like same. And since the translational kinetic energy and rotational kinetic energy have a fixed ratio, so again same logic we can extend to the rotational kinetic energy also, because we can say that rotational kinetic energy will also be like if you draw here. So again the visually the graph will follow the same kind of like it will look similar visually. So Maxwell distribution function will be followed even for the rotational kinetic energy and the translational kinetic energy. It will not matter. Okay. So option statement one is correct. So we can say that statement one is correct, but statement two is false. All right. Then in this question, what is happening? There is a sphere of radius a and mass m which rolls along a horizontal plane with constant velocity v naught. It starts climbing at the inclined plane of an angle theta. Assume it rolls without slipping. How far up the sphere will travel? So very simple question. Let us say sphere travels. Let's say till this distance. So let's say it starts from this point, the bottommost point. So we have to find this distance, how far up it will go. Let's say this distance is L. Okay. So since the work done by the friction is zero because pure rolling is happening, so in a pure rolling on a fixed surface, friction does not do any work. So we can conserve the energy over here. So we can say that how much height this this sphere has gone up. So this height is L sine theta. Okay, this height will be L sine theta. Okay, so whatever was the initial kinetic energy, okay, whatever was the initial kinetic energy, that will become final potential energy. Okay, initial kinetic energy will turn up to become final potential energy, because here the kinetic energy will become zero. So what is the initial kinetic energy? So that is half. So the sphere will have both translational as well as rotational kinetic energy. So what is the translational kinetic energy? Half m v naught square. This is the translational kinetic energy. And what is the rotational kinetic energy? That is half I center of mass into omega square. Okay, that will be equals to m into g into height, which is L sine theta. Right. Now see this value. I center of mass of a sphere is 2 by 5 m r square. Okay, and omega can be written as v naught by r because of the pure rolling. Okay, so v naught square upon r square. That is the condition of pure rolling. All right. So this r square and r square will get cancelled. 2 gets cancelled. So we have m v naught square by 2 plus m v naught square by 5. That will be equals to mgl sine theta. Okay, m will also get cancelled. So finally we have 5 plus 2, 7 v naught square by 10, 7 v naught square by 10, and that will be equals to gl sine theta. Okay, so L value becomes 7 v naught square by 10 g sine theta. Okay, 7 v naught square by 10 g sine theta. Option B will be the correct answer for this question. All right. Here what is happening? There is a stone which has been dropped from a top of a building. Okay, when it crosses a 0.5 meter below the top, another stone starts to fall from 25 meter below the top. Both stones reach the bottom simultaneously. The height of the building is. So let's understand the question. Let us say this is a stone. Okay, sorry, this is a building, not stone. This is a building. Okay, this building has a height h. Okay, so building has a height h, right? Now we are dropping a stone from the top. Okay, so this point is A, and from here we are dropping a stone. Now let us say this stone reaches here 5 meter below with the point B. Okay, so this B point is the 5 meter below. All right. So first let me calculate how much time this stone will take to reach the point B. Okay. So remember height fallen is half gt square. Height fallen is half gt square. So the stone A has fallen 5 meters. Okay. So half into g is 10 and t square. So basically we can say that t will be 1 second. That means the first stone which has been released from the top of the building will fall through the 5 meters. After till like by 1 second. In 1 second, it will fall through 5 meters. Okay. Now, at this instance, when the stone first was at the point B, another stone is released from this point C, which is 25 meter below. All right. So this stone has been released from point C. So another stone 2 has been released from the point C. Okay. So now both these stones really reach the ground simultaneously. Okay. So this stone also reached the ground, and this stone also reached the ground simultaneously. Okay. So note what is happening. Let us understand the events. At t equals to 0, the first stone is released. At t equals to 1, the first stone reaches here, point B. So at that moment, the second stone is released from the point C. Okay, and both the stones reach the ground simultaneously. So what does that mean? The second stone was released 1 second after first stone. Yes or no? That means if first stone travels for time t, then second stone travels for time t minus 1. Right? First stone falls through height h, which is the entire height of the building, and second stone falls through h minus 25. Okay, h minus 25. So for the first stone, you will write capital H is equals to half gt square, because first stone has fallen through height h in the capital T time, and second stone has fallen through h minus 25 because it was released 25 meter below the top. So this height it has fallen through, which is h minus 25. This will be equals to half into g into time of fall, which is t minus 1. Okay, t minus 1, because it was released 1 second after the first stone. Okay, now very easy. After this, you can just put the value of h here. So if I put that, so half g t square, this is the value of h, minus 25 is equals to half g, and this you can expand t square plus 1 minus 2t. Okay, so g we can take 5, so that means this will become 5t square. All right, minus 25, that should be equals to this will be again 5t square, and this will be plus 5, this becomes 5, so plus 5 minus 10t. Okay, so this will get cancelled, so 10t becomes 30, so t becomes 3 seconds. That means the first stone had fallen for a total time of 3 seconds, and this 3 you can put it back over here in the first equation. So h will be half into g is 10 into 3 into 3, that means 45 meters. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. All right. So in this question, this is stopping potential for the electrons emitted for the photosensitive surface when the light was of wavelength 491 is the 0.71. When the incident wavelength is changed to a new value, the stopping potential becomes 1.43. Then the new wavelength is. So look, suppose this is a surface, all right, and here the photons are incident, and the electrons which are emitted. So in the first situation, they have a stopping potential of 0.7 volt. Now remember that K max is simply E into V stopping. Okay, that means in the first situation, when the stopping potential is 0.71 volt, that means the kinetic energy maximum must have been 0.71 electron volt. Okay, and in the second situation, the maximum kinetic energy is 1.43 electron volt. So in the first situation, when the incoming photon has a wavelength of 491, that means the energy of the incoming photon can be written as 1242 divided by 491. This is the energy of the incoming photon in the electron volt. Okay, that should be is equals to phi in the electron volt plus K max in the electron volt, which is 0.71. Okay, in the second situation, the wavelength of the photon has become lambda. Okay, so that will be 1242 upon lambda electron volt. That will be phi in the electron volt plus K max, which is 1.43 electron volt. All right. So now it's just a simple math. From here, we can do equation 2 minus equation 1. So if you do equation 2 minus equation 1, phi will get cancelled. We have to find the value of lambda. So 1242 is 1 by lambda minus 1 by 491. That should be is equals to 1.43 minus 1 minus 0.71. Okay, so this RHS will become 0.72, and this will be 1242 into 1 by lambda minus 1 by 491. Okay, so from here 1 by lambda becomes, so this you can bring down 0.72 upon 1242 plus this you can bring towards the RHS. So that will become 1 by 491. You can solve this, you will get directly the value of lambda in the nanometers, and you will get option C as the correct answer. So you can do the calculation. You'll get option C as the correct answer. All right. Here what is happening, there's a diffraction pattern obtained from the sunlight incident on a pinhole of diameter uh, zero point 0.1 micrometer. So basically there's a diffraction which is happening on a pinhole of diameter 0.1 micrometer. So let's say the diameter is B, which is 0.1 micrometer, and here the sunlight is coming. Okay, so there we have a screen over here. Okay, we have a screen over here, and the question is about what will happen to the size of the diffraction pattern if the diameter of the pinhole is increased, and what will happen to the intensity. So see, size of the diffraction pattern, okay, size of the diffraction pattern is inversely proportional to the B, basically the size of the width of the, basically, this hole. So we can say that the size of the diffraction pattern is inversely proportional. That means if you increase this, then the diffraction pattern will decrease. Okay, this size of the diffraction pattern will decrease, but intensity will increase. Why? Because if you increase the hole size, then more and more light will fall, more and more photons will be able to cross this hole, and hence the intensity of the diffraction pattern will increase. Okay, so the answer will be, if you increase the size, if you increase the diameter of the pinhole, then size of the diffraction pattern will decrease, but the intensity will increase. Okay, that is the idea. Then here we have to again, assertion reason type of question. In the assertion, it is written that EM wave used for optical communication has longer wavelength than the microwave. Now see, for the optical communication, generally the infrared or the visible light is used. Okay, that means for the visible light, if we talk about, uh, does it have longer wavelength than the microwave? So see, visible light has more energy than the microwave. Okay, in the electromagnetic spectrum, if you talk about, so microwave appears before the visible light in terms of energy. So that means visible light has more energy. That means it has shorter wavelength, because energy of a photon is inversely proportional to the wavelength. That means this assertion becomes wrong, because you know longer wavelength means lesser energy, which is wrong. For the reason they are saying that infrared waves are more energetic than microwaves. Now this is right. Why? Because infrared wavelengths, definitely, which are used in the you can say this optical communication, or in visible light also you can consider. So infrared waves are more energetic than microwave. This is correct. Okay, that is right. This statement is correct. So R is correct, but A is wrong. So we can say A is false, but R is true. So option B is right. Okay. Here what is happening? Just a second. So the pressure acting on a submarine is 3 into 10 to the power 5 at a certain depth. If the depth is doubled, the pressure, then the percentage increases in the pressure on the submarine would be. So let us understand what is happening. Let's say this is the sea level. Okay. So at the sea level, let's say S is a point on the surface of the sea, and let's say there's a point A. Okay, point A, which is at a certain depth D. All right. So here the pressure at A. Suppose here there's a submarine. Okay, here there's a submarine. So pressure at the submarine is 3 into 10 to the power 5 initially, right? And this value we can write using the pressure law of pressure as PS, which is pressure at the surface, plus d rho g. Okay, d rho g. This is the pressure at the point A. Okay. Now the question is saying that if you double the depth, so that means suppose we take the submarine to the point B, which is 2d below the surface. Okay, which is 2d below the surface. All right. So what is the percentage increase in the pressure? So pressure at point B will be pressure at the surface plus 2d rho g, right? 2d rho g. Now from here, pressure at the surface is P atmospheric, which is 10 to the power 5. Okay. So this value you can put as 10 to the power 5. That means if I put this value as 10 to the power 5, so that means d rho g. D rho g will become 3 into 10 to the power 5 minus 10 to the power 5. That means this will become 2 into 10 to the power 5. Okay. And once again, we can put this value as P surface, and the value of d rho g we can put here. So pressure at B will become 10 to the power 5 plus 2 into d rho g, which is 2 into 10 to the power 5. So overall this value becomes 5 into 10 to the power 5. So what is the percentage increase in the pressure? That will be PB minus PA upon PA into 100. That means 5 into 10 to the power 5 minus PA was 3 into 10 to the power 5. So 3 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 3 into 10 to the power 5 into 100. So 10 to the power 5 will get cancelled. So this will become 200 by 3%. Okay. So in the given figure, the body of mass m is held between two massless springs on a smooth inclined plane. The free ends of the springs are attached to firm supports. If the spring has a spring constant k, then we have to find the frequency of oscillations. Okay. Now remember that these two springs can be considered in parallel. Basically, if you if you displace the blocks by a certain distance x, then both the spring will get the same displacement. That means the end points of both the spring will move by equal values. Look, this point will move by x, right, and this point will also move by x, which is the condition for springs to be in parallel. So we can say that these two springs is nothing but they can be considered in parallel, and which means we can replace these two springs by a single spring of spring constant k1 plus k2, which becomes 2k. The springs in parallel, so you can simply add up the spring constant. A spring behaves like a capacitor, so in parallel you can simply add up the spring constants. So basically you can now imagine that we have a single block of mass m and a single spring of 2k. Okay. Now in this case, let's say right now the block was in equilibrium. So if the block is in equilibrium, so we can say ki net force will be zero. That means spring force will balance mg sine alpha. Okay, mg sine alpha. Okay, so here mg sine alpha will be balanced by the spring force. So let us say right now the compression in the spring is x naught. So you will write 2k x naught is equals to mg sine alpha, right? This is the condition at equilibrium. Okay, this is the condition at equilibrium. Now let us say, so spring has a compression of x naught as of now. Okay, now let us say we compress the block further by x. Okay, let us say we compress the block further by x. Okay, further by x. So what is the net force? What is the net force? So look, if you compress the block further by x, so what is the net force? Net force will be mg sine alpha downward. Okay, mg sine alpha downward minus the new spring force. Now the new spring force will be 2k into total compression, which is x naught plus x. All right, x naught plus x. So we can say that this is mg sine alpha minus 2k x naught minus 2k x. And since these two values were equal, so this will get cancelled and this will be minus 2k into x. This is the net force. Hence you can see this becomes your effective spring constant. Okay, and frequency ko we can write 1 upon 2 pi root of what, uh, k by m. So basically this will be effectively, it will be 2k and by m. So mass of the block was m. So answer will be 1 upon 2 pi under root 2k by m. This will be the answer. I hope you would have understood. All right, just a second. In this question, there's a large wooden block of mass 5.99 kg, which is hanging through two long massless cords. There's a bullet of mass 0.01 kg, which gets embedded into the block. Okay. Then after the collision, the block rises up. The entire block rises up to a height of 9.8 centimeters. So we have to take gravity as 9.8, and we have to find the speed of the bullet before the collision. Now see, once the collision has happened, so the bullet which was of mass 0.01 kg gets embedded into the block of mass 5.99 kg. Okay, so once the collision has happened, we can say that system has become the mass of 6 kg. Okay, now this system, let us say, has a speed v just after the collision, or we can say v dash. V dash is the speed of the system just after the collision. Okay, v dash is the speed of the system just after the collision. All right, so what we will say, the kinetic energy will become potential energy. That means half m b dash square, that will be is equals to m g into h. All right, so from here v dash becomes root 2 g h. Okay, and h was given us as 9.8 centimeter, so this will become 9.8 upon 100. All right, so that means this value will be what? This value will be 9.8 by 10, 9.8 by 10 into root 2. This is the value of in the meter per second. This is the value of the speed of the entire system just after the collision. Okay. Now let's see what happens during the collision. So during the collision, the bullet which came, okay, it was having a speed v, and the mass of the bullet is 0.01 kg. Okay. So bullet has a momentum, but the block was stationary. Okay. So we can conserve the momentum during the collision because the net external force is zero along the x-axis. So we can say that bullet has a momentum of 0.01 into velocity. This is the momentum of the bullet. Block did not have any momentum. That will be is equals to momentum of the entire system after the collision, just after the collision. So entire system was of mass 6 kg, and the velocity of the entire system just after the collision is v dash. Okay, so from here you can see that 0.01 v will be equal to 6 into 9.8 divided by 10 into root 2. Okay, that means v will become 0.01, you can bring down. So 6 into 9.8 divided by this will become how much? 0.1. Okay, into root 2. That means this will become 98 into 6 into 1.414, and this value will be nearly 831.4 approximately. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. All right. The diamagnetic property depends on temperature. This is wrong because it is largely independent of temperature. It does not depend on temperature. Paramagnetic property, it depends on temperature, however. The induced magnetic dipole moment in a diamagnetic sample is always opposite to the magnetic field. This is correct. For diamagnetic material, the induced dipole moment is opposite to the magnetizing field. However, for a paramagnetic and for ferromagnetic, it is along the magnetizing field. Okay, but for a diamagnetic, it is opposite. So statement 1 is wrong, but statement 2 is correct. That means option D is the correct answer for this question. All right. So in this question, basically there's a hollow spherical planet of inner radius r1 and outer radius r2 of uniform density rho. There's a satellite which is revolving in a radius of 5r, and we have to find the frequency of satellite. In fact, they have given the frequency of revolution, so we have to find the value of capital M. Now, first we must understand that the r1 is equals to capital R and r2 is 3r. So this distance is 3r and this distance is r. So basically the satellite is revolving in some larger radius, which is 5r, right? Now you must understand that what will be the gravitational field of this planet at a distance x. So here x is equals to 5r. Okay. So basically see, we can write simply that value gravitational field of this planet as gm by x square. Think like this. This planet is made up of collection of shells, right? This planet is made up of collection of shells, and each shell, so suppose let me show you one such a shell. So this shell, look, this shell is of some, some mass and some radius. Okay, this is the radius of the shell, and this shell might be having some mass. So the gravitational field of this shell at a distance x, which is outside the shell, will be g into mass of the shell divided by x square, right? So this is the field of this red shell at this point, right? Now the same will be the field of the shell above this, right, where m will be the mass of this shell. Then same will be the field of the above shell, where m will be the mass of this shell. So if you add up the field of all these shells starting from r1 up till last value, so basically you have to integrate this expression, and you can see that g, when you integrate this expression, g by x square will be constant, because x is the distance of this point from the center, which is same for each shell, and you will get addition of mass of the each shell, which will become the mass of the planet. Okay, if you understood this logic, then you can write the field of the planet at this point as g into mass of the planet upon x square. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do now. Okay, if you could not understand, then please listen to this entire conversation, very entire explanation, sorry, again. Okay, so let me write the field at this point. Okay, let me write the field at this point, which is at a distance of 5r. Okay, so the field, gravitational field, okay, I am representing the field by the symbol E. Okay, so gravitational field will be G into mass of the planet. Okay, G into mass of the planet upon 5r square. This is the field. All right. So what is the mass of the planet? Mass of the planet can be written as density into volume of the planet. And remember, the volume of the planet is this, because this is the region where the mass of the planet is present. So you will write volume of the planet as 4 by 3 pi into 4 by 3 pi into bigger radius, which is 3r cube. Okay, bigger radius is 3r cube, that means 27r cube, minus smaller radius, which is r1 cube, that means 4 by 3 pi r cube. R1 is r. Okay, so this is the value we are going to get, and that will be 25r square. So that is the value of the field. So if you look, let me just, yeah. So value of the field becomes g into rho into 4 by 3 pi 26r cube upon 25r square. Okay, this is the value of the field. So r cube and r cube, basically r square will get cancelled. Okay, now that means, let us say here the satellite was of mass m. Okay, small mass m. So what will be the attractive force on this satellite? So attractive force on this satellite will be field into the mass of the satellite, right? field into the mass of the satellite, and this attractive force is going to provide the required centripetal force for satellite to move in the circular motion. So we can say that this force is also behaving as the centripetal force, and centripetal force we can write as m omega square into radius of circular motion, which is 5r. Okay, so now from here m and m gets cancelled, which means the value of the field can be written as g rho 4 by 3 pi into 26 r upon 25. That will be is equals to 5r into omega square. Now remember, omega is 2 pi f. Omega is the angular you can say frequency of oscillations also, because omega is constant. So omega ko we can write 2 pi f. For a constant angular velocity, it can be considered as angular frequency. So omega can be written as 2 pi f. So squaring it will make it 4 pi square f square. All right. Now look, so I'll just put the value of f given in the question, but before that first we can cancel this r. Okay, this pi will also get cancelled, 4 will also get cancelled. So let me write very carefully what all things are left. G is left here, okay, rho is left here, 26 by 3 is left, okay, 26 by 3 into 25, this is left. Okay, here 5 is left, okay, and pi is left, okay, and f square. So value of f square, if you look, just square this. So f square will be, you know, 1 plus 1 by n square into g rho by 15 pi e. Okay, this is what we are getting. So you can see this pi and pi will get cancelled, 5 will make it 3, and this 3 and 3 will also get cancelled. 0 0, that means we are left with 1 plus 1 by n square on the RHS, and that will be 26 by 25, which means 1 by n square is 1 upon 25, which means capital N becomes 5. Okay, so option A will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you would have understood. All right, let us see the next question. Here in this circuit, the 6 ampere current is entering, and we have to find the value of current I1. Now look, between P and R, you can see here we have a total resistance of 4 ohms. Okay, and here we have a single resistor of 2 ohm. So let me draw this circuit slightly in a better manner. So I'll draw this 2 ohm horizontally. Okay, so this 2 ohm I am drawing horizontally, and this is the point P. All right, now this 2 and 2, they are in series. Okay, so I'm drawing this with a single resistor as 4 ohm, and this is the point R basically. Okay, and this PR is a single resistor of value 2 ohm. All right, and this then further it will go. So we have to find the value of this I1. I1 means this current which is going in the branch from P to Q to R. So this is the value of I1 we need to find, and here 6 ampere current was entering. So very standard question. You can use the parallel splitting of current. So when a 6 ampere current enters, okay, so we can say, we can write I1 as directly as incoming current as into 2 upon 2 plus 4, right? This resistor upon this plus this. Okay, I1 is proportional to 2, and suppose you wanted to write this current I2, so I2 will be proportional to 4. So I2 will be 6 into 4 upon 4 plus 2, and I1 will be 6 into 2 upon 2 plus 4. Okay, so that will be the value of I1. So this will cancel, and the answer will be 2 amperes directly. Okay, so this will be 2 amperes. All right. Here question is saying that wavelength of the X-ray photon is 10 angstrom. The mass of the fictitious particle, which when converted to energy will produce the same energy as that of the X-ray photon, is x by 3 h kg. The value of x is. So basically the question is saying that suppose we have a fictitious particle, okay, whose mass is x by 3 into h kg. All right. Now this mass when converted to energy, it has the same energy as that of an X-ray photon of the wavelength 10 angstrom. So look, when a mass m gets converted to energy, we know that energy released is mc square. All right, that means when this mass will be converted to energy, energy released will be x by 3 into h. This is the mass of this particle into c square. Okay, so this is the energy that will be released, and according to question, this should also be the energy of a photon of wavelength 10 angstrom. So energy of a photon of wavelength 10 angstrom can be written as hc by lambda. Okay, so now this h and h will get cancelled, c and c will also get cancelled. That means x into c by 3, that should be 1 upon lambda. Okay, so x will be 3 upon c lambda. Okay, and the value of c we know is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Lambda is 10 angstrom. That means 10 into 10 to the power minus 10. Angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10. So from here we get how much? This becomes 1 upon 10 to the power minus 1, which means 10. So value of x will become 10. All right. A uniform metallic wire is elongated by 0.04 meter when subjected to a linear force F. The elongation, if its length and diameter is doubled and subjected to the same force. So basically, let us say that this is a uniform wire and this is subjected to a force of F. Okay. So we know that F upon cross sectional area, that is equals to Young's modulus into delta L upon L. So in this scenario, the delta L was given as 0.04. Okay, and length of the wire was L and the cross sectional area was A. Now what we are doing? We are doubling its length and diameter. So if you double the length and if you double the diameter, so look, length will become 12 and the cross sectional area will become 4A, because area is pi d square by 4, right? So if you double the diameter, area will become 4 times, because area is proportional to the square of the diameter. So doubling the diameter will make area 4 times. We are applying the same force. So force has not been changed, and Young's modulus we consider as a property of material, so it will also not get changed. So in the second situation, the new force F upon new area, which is 4A, is equals to Young's modulus into new elongation delta L upon new length 2L. Okay, now we can divide it by these two equations. So you can see this F by A will get cancelled, y L by L. So here 1 upon 1 by 4. So that means in the LHS you will get 4. Okay, 1 upon 1 by 4 will become 4. Here you will be left with the 0.04, and here you will be left with the delta L by 2. So 2 will go in the numerator. That means delta L will become how much? Delta L will become 0.02 centimeter. So here it was in meter, note. So this will be 0.02 meter. Okay, that means 2 centimeter. Okay, 2 centimeter will be your answer. All right. In this question, basically, we have a uniform thin bar of mass 6 kg and length 2.4 meter, which is bent to make an equilateral hexagon. Okay. The moment of inertia of about an axis passing through center of mass and perpendicular to the plane of the hexagon. So basically, the total length, suppose this was the bar. Okay, this was the bar. Okay, this mass was 6 kg and the length was 2.4 meter. So we have converted into a regular hexagon. Okay, so that means it can be thought as a collection of 6 rods. Okay, so let me name them A, B, C, D, E, F, and each rod will be of mass 1 kg, because 6 kg has been divided into 6 rods, and length 2.4 by 6, that means 0.4 meter. So if you look at each rod, let's say we look at AF. Okay, so this AF rod is of mass 1 kg. Okay, and length of the rod is 0.4 meter. Okay, so we have to find the moment of inertia of this entire system about the axis passing through O and perpendicular to the plane of the screen. Okay, now very easy question. If you look at this rod AF, so moment of inertia of this rod about the center of mass of the this rod is will be what? So that means I1 I'm talking about. So axis I1 is passing through C1 and perpendicular to the plane of the screen. That will be half ml square by 12. Okay, ml square by 12. And if I apply the parallel axis theorem, so basically, this distance will be what? So basically, let's as of now call this distance as D. So moment of inertia of this rod AF, moment of inertia of this rod AF about the axis passing through O will be I1. Okay, I1 plus md square. Okay, moment of inertia of this rod about the axis passing through O will be I1 plus md square. All right. So now I1 is ml square by 12 plus md square. Okay, D. What is the value of D? D is, look, so this will also be equal to the length of the rod. Okay, because this will be an equilateral triangle. So this will also be equal to length of the rod. So we can write D as L sine 60. This angle will be 60 degree. So this D will be L sine 60. Okay, that means this D will be L square sine square 60. All right. So if we calculate this value, what does it come out to be? M is 1. L is 0.4 into 0.4. Okay, divided by 12 plus M is again 1. Okay, L is 0.4 into 0.4. Sine square 60 will become 3 by 4. Okay, so this is the value that we get. Okay, now look, whatever is the moment of inertia of this rod about O, same will be the moment of inertia of rod AB about 0.0, because this is also going to behave exactly identical. In fact, the whole system is identical about 0.0. So BC will also have the same moment of inertia, CD will also have the same moment of inertia. So the total moment of inertia, if you have to find I of system, so that you have to multiply this by the 6. So this 6 will be, because we have 6 rods, This will be 0.4 into 0.4. Okay, 0.4 into 0.4 upon 12. Okay, plus 0.4. I think here it was 4, right? So 0.4 into 0.4 into 3 by 4. Okay, now we can just do the calculations here. If I make this 6 enter, so this 6 will make it 2, and here you will get 6. So 0.4 into 0.4, that means this will make it 0.2. 0.4 into 0.2 is 0.08. Okay, plus this you can say will be 0.1. Okay, 6 is a 18, 18 4 is a 72, and so this will become 6 is a 18, 18 4 is a 72. This will become 0.72. This becomes 0.8. Okay, this becomes 0.8. So moment of inertia becomes 0.8. That means here you will get 8. All right. In this question, there is a plane progressive wave which is given by x equals to 40 cos 2 pi t minus 0.02 pi y, where y is in centimeter and t is in second. We have to find the particle velocity for y is equals to 25 and time equals to 1 by 200 seconds. So particle velocity has been given. We have to find the value of n. Okay. So first of all, you need to understand that this wave is moving along the positive y direction. So the wave is moving like this. Okay, and there will be a particle. So suppose this is the y-axis. Okay, suppose this is the y-axis. So the particle velocity of this particle, which is located at y equals to 25 centimeters. So x is the displacement of the particle, which will happen along the x-axis. So this particle will oscillate along the x-axis. Okay. So the x is the displacement. So for finding the velocity of the particle, we can differentiate displacement with respect to time, del x by del t. We are doing the partial derivative because here x is a function of time as well as y. So this will be 40 centimeter into this 50 pi will come outside because of the chain rule. So 50 pi into cos theta will become minus sine theta. So sine into 50 pi t minus 0.02 pi y. Okay, this is the particle velocity as a function of time and location. So this becomes 5 4s are 20,000 centimeter pi. Okay, and we have to find the particle velocity for time 200 seconds. So you need to put time as 200, sorry, 1 by 200. Okay, and y is already in centimeters, so you just have to put this y as 25 here. Okay, so what does this become? Minus 2000 centimeter pi per second, centimeter per second, into sine. Now this becomes pi by 4 minus 25 to the 50, so this will become 0.5 pi. All right, so this becomes minus 2000 pi sine of minus pi by 4. Okay, this is basically sine of pi by 4 minus pi by 2. Pi by 4 minus pi by 2. Okay, centimeter per second, remember, because here this was in centimeter. So this is the velocity of the particle. Okay, so minus 2000 pi. So in meter per second, if you want to convert, you can just remove two zeros from here. So this will become meter per second. Sine 45 degree minus 90 degree will become sine of minus pi by 4, which is nothing but minus 1 by root 2. So this is minus 1 by root 2, and now this is in meter per second. So that means this is 10 root 2 pi meter per second. So if you compare this with the given expression, so n becomes 2. So value of n is 2. Right? I hope you would have understood. Thank you.
Hi everyone. In this question, we are given a molecule that contains a carboxylic functional group and an ester functional group, and it is being reduced with LiBH4, which is lithium borohydride, in the presence of ethanol as source of proton. The question is, what is the major product in the following reduction reaction? So LiBH4 is a selective reducing agent that reduces esters and not carboxylic acids. So generally, if you have carboxylic acid and ester in the same molecule, we cannot use lithium aluminum hydride because it's a very strong reducing agent. It reduces both functional groups. So LiBH4 is the reducing agent that comes to our rescue. LiBH4 reduces ester, leaving carboxylic unreduced. So the correct answer of this question would be carboxylic would remain untouched. This would be CO2H. Whereas ester, which is C double bond O ET, it will be reduced here. Ethanol would separate, and this carbonyl carbon would be reduced to CH2OH, which means that this will be converted to this CH2OH. So this would be the final product of this reaction. Now let us see, this does not make sense, option A, and both functional groups would be converted to carboxylic acid. That will also not be correct. In option C, we have the carboxylic unreduced, whereas this ester functional group being reduced to a primary alcohol, which is CH2OH. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Yes, so option C is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given three elements X, Y, and Z, which have the atomic numbers 33, 53, and 83 respectively. And we have to tell the identity of these elements as to whether these elements are metals, metalloids, or non-metals. Let us look at the element X. It has the atomic number 33. Now the element with the atomic number 33 is arsenic, which is actually a metalloid. So arsenic is a metalloid. And coming to the second element, Y, its atomic number is given to be 53. This element is iodine, which is a halogen. So this is a non-metal. And lastly, the element Z has the atomic number 83. This element is bismuth, which is a metal in group 15 elements. So X is a metalloid, Y is a non-metal, and Z is a metal. So option D is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 1 mole of a non-ideal gas that undergoes a change of state from 2 atm, 3 liter and 95 Kelvin to a final state where the pressure of the gas is 4 atm, volume is 5 liter and the temperature is 245 Kelvin. It is also given that the change in internal energy, delta U for the gas is 30 liter atm, and we have to find out the delta H of the gas in this process. Enthalpy is related to the internal energy by this formula. H is equal to U plus PV, or we can also write this delta H, that is change in enthalpy, is equal to delta U, change in internal energy, plus change in pressure and volume. Because the substance is a non-ideal gas, we cannot use PV is equal to an RT here. So we will simply write delta H is equal to delta U plus delta of PV can be written as P2V2 minus P1V1, which is final pressure into final volume minus initial pressure into initial volume. Now substituting the given values, delta U is given to be 30 liter atm plus final pressure is given to be 4 atm and the final volume is 5 liter. So the unit will be liter atm minus initial pressure is given to be 2 atm and the initial volume is 3. So this would be in terms of liter atm only. So this would be 30 liter atm plus this would be 20 minus 6, 14 liter atm. So the final value of delta H here comes out to be 44 liter atm. So the correct answer to this question will be option C, where the change in enthalpy of the gas delta H is 44 liter atm. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we have to find out the degree of unsaturation present in the given compound. Degree of unsaturation, which is shortened as DU, it's also called index of hydrogen deficiency or double bond equivalence. Each degree of unsaturation corresponds to one equivalent of hydrogen molecule. And 1 degree of unsaturation means that either there is one pi bond in the molecule or there is one ring in the molecule. So if the degree of unsaturation is 1, the compound either contains a pi bond or a ring. Similarly, if the degree of unsaturation is 2, there could be 2 pi bonds, 2 rings, or 1 ring and 1 pi bond. So let us look at this molecule. First, let us count the number of pi bonds. We have 2 pi bonds here in this triple bond, 1 pi bond here, and this is benzene. If we individually show the 3 pi bonds, then 3 pi bonds are present in the benzene itself. We have 1 pi bond here in this cyclohexene ring, and we have 1 pi bond in this carboxylic group. So the total number of pi bonds in this molecule would be 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let us count the number of rings in this molecule. There is this one benzene ring, then fused to this there is another cyclohexane ring, and fused to this there is another cyclohexene ring. So we have a total of 3 rings, which means the total degree of unsaturation of this compound is 11. So option D is the correct answer. Thank you. Hi everyone. This question is based on stoichiometry, in which we have to find out the mass of silver chloride, AgCl, that is formed when a solution containing 5.85 gram of NaCl is mixed with another solution containing 3.40 gram of silver nitrate. The molecular masses are given in the question and also the balanced chemical equation. So let us start by writing the balanced chemical equation. NaCl reacts with silver nitrate in 1:1 molar ratio and it produces AgCl and sodium nitrate. The mass of NaCl given is 5.85. If we divide it by the molar mass of NaCl, which is 58.5, then we find out that the number of moles of NaCl is 0.1 mole. Similarly, doing this calculation for silver nitrate, the mass is given to be 3.40 and the molar mass of silver nitrate is given to be 170. So this comes out to be 0.02 mole. Now, because they are reacting in equimolar proportions, we can clearly see that silver nitrate is the limiting reactant here, because for 0.1 mole of NaCl, we need 0.1 mole of silver nitrate as well for the reaction to go to completion. But we have only 0.02 mole of silver nitrate, which means that silver nitrate is the limiting reactant here. So the mass of product formed would be determined by how much limiting reactant is present in the system. The question is, what mass of AgCl is present? Again, 1 mole of AgCl comes from 1 mole of silver nitrate. So if silver nitrate is 0.02 mole, AgCl would also be 0.02 mole at the end of reaction. Finally, calculating the mass of AgCl would be number of moles, which is 0.02, multiplied with the molar mass of AgCl, which is given here 143.5. So doing this calculation, this comes out to be 2.87 gram. So the correct answer to this question would be option C. 2.87 gram of AgCl would form under the given conditions. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 4 sets of values of n, which is principal quantum number, and L, which is azimuthal quantum number. We have to place these electrons identified by these quantum numbers in the order of increasing energy, as given in the 4 options. So we know that the energy of an orbital is directly proportional to the value of n plus L. That is, higher the value of n plus L, higher is the energy of the orbital. If the value of n plus L is same for 2 orbitals, then the energy is directly proportional to n. So if n plus L is same, then energy would be directly proportional to n. In the first option, the value of n plus L is 5, which is 4 plus 1. In second case, the value of n plus L is 4 plus 0. In third case, the value of n plus L is 3 plus 2, again 5. And in the fourth case, the value of n plus L is 3 plus 1, 4. So one thing is clear, that first and third would have higher energy and second and fourth would have lower energy. Now, out of first and third, both have higher energy than second and fourth, we will have to look at the value of n. In first set, the value of n is 4, but in third set, the value of n is 3, which means that n is equal to 4 would have higher value of energy. So the highest energy would be for first and then followed by third. Now coming to second and fourth, both of which have the same value of n plus L. Again, we check that in second, the value of principal quantum number is 4, but in fourth, the value of principal quantum number is 3, which means that n is equal to 4 will have higher energy here, which means second set would have higher energy and the fourth one will have lower energy because the value of principal quantum number is also low. So the correct order of increasing energy of these electrons would be fourth, second, third, and first. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. This question is based on Henry's law. It is given in the question that Henry's law constant Kh for oxygen dissolved in 1 kilogram of water is 4.00 into 10 to the power 4 atm at 25 degrees Celsius. The partial pressure of oxygen in air is 0.4 atm, and we have to calculate the number of moles of oxygen dissolved in water at equilibrium with air at 25 degrees Celsius. So using the expression of Henry's law, which is P is equal to Khx, where P is the partial pressure of oxygen in the vapor phase above the solution, which is given to be here as 0.4 atm. This is equal to Kh, which is Henry's law constant, whose value is given to be 4 into 10 raised to the power 4 atm, multiplied by the mole fraction of oxygen gas. So we can see here that the mole fraction of oxygen gas would be 0.4 divided by 4 into 10 raised to the power 4, which can be written as 0.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 4, which is simply 10 raised to the power minus 5. Now, because the mole fraction of oxygen gas is very small, so the number of moles of oxygen gas compared to the moles of the solvent would also be very small, which means that this mole fraction of oxygen, which is 10 raised to the power minus 5, which is mathematically number of moles of oxygen divided by number of moles of oxygen plus number of moles of water, this can be approximated as simply number of moles of oxygen divided by number of moles of water. Because the mole fraction of oxygen is very small, so number of moles of oxygen would also be negligible. From this expression, we get that the number of moles of oxygen would be 10 raised to the power minus 5 multiplied by number of moles of water, which for 1 kilogram can be written as 1000 divided by 18. Now 1000 divided by 18 has an accepted value of 55.55. So the correct answer would be 55.55 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 mole. This is the amount of oxygen that is dissolved in 1 kg of water under given conditions. So the correct answer to this question would be option A. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given a sample of barium hydroxide of mass 12.825. This is dissolved in 10 ml of 0.5 normal HCl solution, and the excess of HCl was then titrated with 0.2 normal NaOH, whose volume consumed was 10 ml, 10 cc. We have to calculate the percentage of barium hydroxide in the sample. So from the question, it is evident that first barium hydroxide, which is base, it is reacting with HCl. Then HCl is not completely neutralized because the excess of HCl is then neutralized with NaOH. So HCl acts as the excess reagent here. So we can write here that milli equivalent of HCl would be equal to the milli equivalent of barium hydroxide plus milli equivalent of NaOH. This is because HCl is the excess reagent. It is neutralizing both barium hydroxide as well as NaOH. So by the law of chemical equivalence, the number of milliequivalents of the excess reactant will be equal to the sum of the number of milliequivalents of all the reactants with which it is reacting. Now milliequivalents can be written as normality into volume. Normality for HCl is 0.5 multiplied by volume is 10. For barium hydroxide, milliequivalent can be written as millimoles multiplied by n factor. N factor for barium hydroxide is 2, as it gives 2 hydroxide ions per molecule. Plus milliequivalent of NaOH would again be normality into volume. Normality is 0.2 multiplied by volume is 10. From here, we can calculate that millimoles of barium hydroxide would be 0.5 into 10, which is 5, minus 0.2 into 10, which is 2, and this divided by 2. So 5 minus 2 divided by 3 is 1.5. So the number of millimoles of barium hydroxide would be 1.5, or number of moles would be 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 mole. Next, we have to convert this into mass because we have to calculate the percentage of barium hydroxide, which would be here mass percentage. So the mass of barium hydroxide would be number of moles 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 multiplied by the molar mass of barium hydroxide, which can be calculated as 137, the atomic mass of barium, and 2 hydroxide would be 16 plus 1, 17 into 2, 34. So this will come out to be 171. So this would be 0.171 multiplied by 1.5 gram. And then from here, directly we can calculate mass percentage of barium hydroxide as the mass of barium hydroxide in the sample, which is 0.171 multiplied by 1.5 divided by the mass of sample, 12.825, and multiplied by 100 because we are calculating percentage. When you solve this, this comes out to be exactly 2. So the mass percentage of barium hydroxide in the given sample is 2%. So option D is the correct answer. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given a molecule which is 1,3-dimethylbenzene, or also known as metaxylene. And the question is, which of the following are formed as major products when this compound is treated with bromine in the presence of FeBr3, which is a Lewis acid catalyst? So the reaction we are talking about here is bromination, which is an example of halogenation, that is an electrophilic substitution reaction, SEAR. So methyl groups here are ortho and para directing groups. So let us see what are the positions in the phenyl ring where the 2 methyl groups would direct the incoming electrophile to. So we have 2 methyl groups here. This methyl group would direct the incoming electrophile, that is Br, to ortho and para position. So these two are ortho position and this is para position. Similarly, this methyl group would direct the incoming electrophile to this ortho position, and this para position. Now there's a catch over here. This position has substituent on its either side, which means that if bromine electrophile attacks here, the resulting product would have extreme steric crowding because there will be 3 substituents side by side. So when 2 substituents are meta with respect to each other, substitution at middle position is not favored because of extreme steric crowding, which means that leaves us with 2 possibilities here, and actually these 2 positions are equivalent. So bromine electrophile would attack either here or here, so leading to the formation of products that are mentioned in option A. So this bromine is ortho with respect to this methyl, and this bromine is ortho with respect to this methyl. Bromine would not enter here because methyl is not a meta-directing group. So if bromine enters here, that is at least not going to give us a major product. Again, bromine would not enter at the middle position because of the steric crowding. And similarly, bromine would not enter here because the same thing is steric crowding. So in this question, option A is the correct answer. Thank you. Hi everyone. For a reaction completed in 3 steps, the overall rate constant is given by this. K1, K2 and K3 are the rate constants for these 3 steps, and we have to find out the expression for the overall activation energy if E1, E2 and E3 represent the individual activation energies. So this question is based on Arrhenius equation from chemical kinetics. We can write the overall rate constant K as 3K1 raised to the power 3 into K3 divided by K2 square. Now substituting the values for these K1, K2 and K3 using the Arrhenius expression, we can write here that this would be A1 raised to the power 3 multiplied by E raised to the power minus E1 RT, but this will be cube, so this would be minus 3 E1 divided by RT. For K3, we can write the Arrhenius factor as A3 and E raised to the power minus, for third step, the activation energy would be E3. So this would be minus E3 by RT divided by K2 square, which means A2 square multiplied by E raised to the power minus activation energy would be E2, but it is squared. So this would be minus 2 E2 divided by RT. Now, if we rearrange this, K is equal to, this would be 3 A1 cube multiplied by A3 divided by A2 square, and this would be E raised to the power minus 3 E1. This would be minus E3, and minus 2 E2 will become plus 2 E2 divided by RT. To compare it with the Arrhenius equation, K overall is Arrhenius factor overall and E raised to the power minus EA by RT, which is the overall activation energy of the reaction, then we can rewrite this as 3A prime. Let's say A prime would be this number, right? A1, A2 square A3, right? Or rather we can just use the expression A, in which case this entire term is the overall Arrhenius factor. Then this would be E raised to the power. We can take minus common actually. So this would be minus 3 E1. Then this can be written as minus 2 E2, and this would be plus E3. The signs would change, divided by RT. Now if we compare this expression with this expression, then we can see the overall activation energy EA would be 3 E1 minus 2 E2 and plus E3. So this would be the overall activation of the reaction that matches option D, 3E1 minus 2E2 plus E3. So option D is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 4 complexes and we have to find out which complex exists as a pair of enantiomers. Enantiomers are optically active stereoisomers. So basically the question is asking which of these 4 complexes exhibits optical isomerism. The correct answer to this question is option B, because a molecule that has a plane of symmetry or a center of symmetry cannot be optically active. The complex in option A has plane of symmetry. For example, we can take this. There would be a plane of symmetry here, right? And in any configuration of this molecule, in fact, there would be a plane of symmetry. There would be plane of symmetry in this third complex because there are 2 identical ligands, and there would be plane of symmetry in the complex in option D because it is trans isomer. And just like this complex, this would also have the horizontal plane as plane of symmetry. The complex in option B does not have a plane of symmetry because of the presence of chelating ligands. If these nitrogen donor atoms would have been part of mononucleate ligand, then even complex B would not show optical isomerism. But now, because these donor atoms are connected by this carbon chain, so if you draw mirror image of this complex, then it would not be superimposable on the original molecule. So because of the presence of chelating ligand, this complex CrEn33 plus exists as a pair of non-superimposable mirror images, that is enantiomers, and hence it is optically active. So the correct answer to this question is option B. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 4 molecules and we have to find out the order of percentage enol. So the first compound contains two carbonyl groups in a cyclopentane ring, so cyclopentane 1,2-dione. This molecule forms exceptionally stable enol because formation of enol leads to less repulsions, because right now these two carbon double bond oxygen are forced to be cis with respect to each other, but once enolization occurs, so now one pi bond becomes anti with respect to the other pi bond, and also as this carbonyl group tautomerizes, that is enolizes, converts to enol, there is hydrogen bonding that stabilizes this enol. So P would form the most stable enol. Out of Q, R and S, R and S would form more stable enol because these are 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds, and 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds form very stable enol because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding and resonance. So for example, if we draw the enol of this molecule, then we can see here that there is hydrogen bonding here, as well as there is resonance because we have this lone pair and then double bond and then double bond like this. So there is resonance. But resonance is more in this molecule S because here there is additionally a benzene ring joined to this 1,3 dicarbonyl group, which means that out of R and S, S would exhibit greater amount of enol. So P, S, and then R, and Q would show least amount of enol. So the correct answer to this question would be P, S, R, Q. That is option B. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we have to tell the major product of the following reaction. The molecule given is a haloalkane, and we are heating this molecule with excess of alcoholic KOH, which is a strong base. The reaction is dehydrohalogenation, which is a type of beta elimination. And in this elimination reaction, the most stable alkene is formed as a major product. So if we remove this bromine, we have to remove one beta hydrogen, which could be removed from this position or this position. But we can see here that removal of this hydrogen would give a double bond at this position, which would be in conjugation with the benzene ring and hence more stable. So one double bond we are going to have on this position. Now, if we remove this bromine, once again, we will have to remove a hydrogen from beta position, which could be this hydrogen or this hydrogen. But removal of this hydrogen would again give a more stable alkene because that double bond would be in conjugation, would be in resonance with the double bond that came from the removal of this HBr. Now, as we discussed that dehydrohalogenation gives the more stable alkene. So if there is possibility for formation of cis and trans, the trans alkene is formed as the major product, which means that the next double bond would not have a cis configuration, it would have a trans configuration. So something like this we would have here, right? Benzene, then on the next alternate position double bond, and then on the next alternate position we have a double bond here, and then we have an ethyl group here like this. So the product in option A is the most stable product of this reaction and hence the major product. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this reaction sequence, we have to identify the reactant X, which has the molecular formula C4H6. Using this molecular formula, we can deduce that the degree of unsaturation of the compound is 2 because for 4 carbon atoms, we need a maximum of 10 hydrogens. So degree of unsaturation 2 means that either there are 2 pi bonds, or there are 2 rings, or there is 1 pi bond or 1 ring. The first reactant is catalytic hydrogenation in the presence of palladium catalyst, but we also have the poison barium sulfate. So this is an example of Lindlar's catalyst where an alkyne is reduced to cis alkene, which means that this compound is an alkyne. The 2 degree of unsaturation would be present in the form of 2 pi bonds. That leaves us with option A and D. Let us analyze the complete reaction sequence. The product P that is formed upon the catalytic reduction of the reactant X, it undergoes reductive ozonolysis, that is reaction with ozone followed by reductive cleavage in the presence of zinc, and it yields a single product Q. This is the key point in this question, key information. The reaction ozonolysis involves the breakdown, the fragmentation of a molecule. If there is carbon-carbon double bond present, then the molecule breaks down at that point. But here we are only getting a single product Q, which means that the alkene here has to be symmetrical. So if we take option A, which is butane CH3 CH2 C triple bond CH, upon catalytic hydrogenation in presence of barium sulfate, this would yield us CH3 CH2 CH double bond CH2. But upon reductive ozonolysis, we will not get one product, we will get 2 products. One product would be CH3CH2CHO and another product would be formaldehyde. Now that leaves us with option D. Perfect. This is butene on reduction with Lindlar's catalyst. This would give us cis-butene, which is CH3CH double bond CH3. And when this is made to react with ozone followed by reductive cleavage, then the bond breaks here and we get two molecules of CH3CHO, which is an aldehyde. Now, this piece of information also fits with the last reaction in the sequence, that the product Q reacts with HCN. Yes, CH3CHO is an aldehyde, and aldehydes react with HCN to form addition products, which we call cyanohydrin. So the correct answer to this question is option D, right, where the reactant C4H6 is butene. Thank you. Hi everyone. This question is based on biomolecules, specifically the structure of proteins. This is in fact a very simple question. We are given four fragments of chains and we have to tell which of the following structures represents a peptide chain. A peptide chain consists of amino acid residues. For example, if we take the carboxylic group of one amino acid, if it condenses with the amino group of another amino acid, then this is a condensation reaction where OH and H are lost and a peptide bond is formed. So two amino acids are joined together by a peptide linkage, and this peptide bond that exists between two amino acids, it results in the formation of peptide chain when amino acids bind one after another. So we basically have to look for the presence of these peptide bonds. You can see here this definitely is not a peptide bond because on either side of the carbonyl group we have NH. Here NH, CO, NH. This is not fine because once again we have NH group here and then we have CO group here. So this is not a peptide linkage. Here we have NH, a part of CO, peptide linkage, and we have another peptide linkage CONH here, and then this is also CO. So yes, this seems to be like there is peptide linkage present in this fragment of chain. Let us look at the option D here. We have NH here, CONH here, so that is fine. This is a peptide linkage, and then we have NHCO here. This is not fine because for this amino acid residue, if it is using NH2 group on its left hand side, then it should have used CO group on its right hand side. So the linkage should have been here CONH and not NHCO. So option D is also incorrect, which means that option C here is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given an organic compound A, which has the molecular formula C3H9N. When it is treated with nitrous acid, which is HNO2, we obtain an alcohol and nitrogen gas is evolved. Now, please remember that primary aliphatic amines react with nitrous acid to give unstable diazonium cations, which spontaneously decompose in the solution to give alcohol, and the diazo group exits as nitrogen gas. So let us call the organic compound as RNH2. Let's say this is the compound A. When it reacts with nitrous acid, then it gives us the alcohol ROH with the evolution of nitrogen gas. On warming with chloroform and caustic potash, so when we react this compound A with chloroform and caustic potash KOH, this is the famous carbyl amine reaction, which is used as a test for primary amines, in which a primary amine RNH2 is converted to RNC, which is basically isocyanide. So A on warming with chloroform and caustic potash gave C, which on reduction gives isopropyl methylamine. So when this compound RNC is reduced, then this gives us isopropyl methylamine, which means that CH3, CH3, this is isopropyl group, right? And we have methyl on another side of the nitrogen. So this should be the compound. So we can clearly see here that NC converts to NHCH3 upon reduction, which means that R is isopropyl group. All right. So if R is isopropyl group, then we can directly deduce the structure of this compound A, which is RNH2. So this is simply isopropyl amine. So CH3 twice CH and then NH2. So the correct answer is option A. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given three salts AB, AX2 and M3Y, and their solubility product constants values are given as these. We have to find out the order of solubility of these salts in water, the correct order of these solubilities. So let us start with the salt AB. It has one cation and one anion. So the expression of KSP in terms of molar solubility would be S square which is given to be 4 into 10 raised to the power minus 8. Upon solving, the solubility of this salt AB comes out to be 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 4 molar. Repeating this procedure with the other two salts, for AX2, the KSP can be written as, in terms of the molar solubility, as 4S cube, which is given to be 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 14, which can be rearranged as 32, which can be rewritten as 32 into 10 raised to the power minus 15. So this cancels to be 8, and solubility of this salt would be 8 into 10 raised to the power minus 15 raised to the power 1 by 3, which means that solubility of this salt AX2 would be 8 raised to the power 1 by 3, which is 2, multiplied by 10 to minus 15 raised to the power 1 by 3, which is 10 raised to the power minus 5 molar. Coming to the last salt, M3Y, for this salt M3Y, we can write the KSP as 3 cube, which is 27, and S raised to the power 3 plus 1, 4. The value of the solubility product constant, it is given to be 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 15, but the solubility has power 4. So we would want to convert it into power 16. So we can write it as 27 into 10 raised to the power minus 16. Now we can see that this 27 and 27 is cancelled. So S raised to the power 4 is 10 to the power minus 16. So simply the solubility of this salt M3Y is 10 raised to the power minus 4 molar. Now we have this molar solubility of these three salts, and we can see that the minimum solubility is exhibited by AX2 because its solubility is of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 5 moles per liter. So AX2 has the minimum solubility. That directly gives us option D as the correct answer. Out of AB and M3Y, AB has solubility 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 4, and M3Y is 10 to the minus 4. So obviously AB has higher solubility than M3Y. So the correct order of solubility is maximum for AB, then less for M3Y, and the least for AX2. So option D is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. This question is based on inorganic qualitative analysis, where we are given an acidic aqueous solution that contains 4 salts: copper sulfate, zinc sulfate, magnesium sulfate, and cadmium sulfate. When this mixture containing these 4 salts is treated with H2S, then the ions that are precipitated as metal sulfides. Now remember that the solution is acidic and aqueous. This directly rules out magnesium sulfate as a possible answer, because magnesium sulfide, when it is dissolved in water, it actually decomposes. So it cannot precipitate as a sulfide in water. Zinc sulfate will not turn to zinc sulfide in acidic medium in presence of H2S, because actually zinc sulfide is precipitated in the presence of H2S but in alkaline medium, because the cation zinc belongs to group 4th in cation analysis and not in group 2. So zinc will precipitate in H2S indeed, but in alkaline medium in presence of NH4OH, for example, but not in acidic medium. So that also rules out zinc sulfate. That leaves us with copper and cadmium ion. Both of these ions belong to group 2 in cation analysis, and both of these cations in acidic medium on reaction with H2S will precipitate as the sulfides, which is CuS and CdS. So the correct answer to this question will be option A. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 4 options containing 3 metal ions each, and we have to tell which of the following sets of metallic ions have equal magnetic moment. So this question talks about the spin-only magnetic moment, which is given by this formula, under root n into n plus 2 bm, where n is the number of unpaired electrons. So if 2 metal ions have the same number of unpaired electrons, then the theoretical value of their spin-only magnetic moment would also be same. So we basically in this question have to find out the set in which the number of unpaired electrons is same in all the 3 metal ions. Let us start with ferrous ion. The electronic configuration of ferrous ion is 3d6, which means that it has 6 electrons in its d subshell. As per this configuration, we can see that there are 4 unpaired electrons. The electronic configuration of nickel 2 plus is 3d8, and we can clearly see here that we have 2 unpaired electrons, because these 8 electrons would arrange themselves like this, so leaving behind 2 unpaired electrons. So this is definitely not worth pursuing, because it is not the correct answer. Let us look at the next option, Fe3 plus and CO3 plus. Of course, they have different atomic numbers, so in the same oxidation state, they will not have the same number of unpaired electrons, as in Fe3 plus has the configuration 3d5, where all 5 electrons are unpaired in 3d subshell, and for cobalt 3 plus, the configuration would be 3d6, where we would have these 4 unpaired electrons. So Fe3 plus would have 5 unpaired electrons, but cobalt 3 plus would have 4 unpaired electrons. So this also cannot be the correct answer. Now coming to the option C, Fe2 plus we have already determined has 4 unpaired electrons. Cobalt 3 plus we have already determined has 4 unpaired electrons. Now let us look at Mn3 plus. The configuration of manganese is 3d54s2, and in plus 3 state, 2 electrons are removed from s orbital and 1 electron is removed from d orbital. So the configuration 3d54s2 changes to 3d44s0, which clearly means that we have 4 unpaired electrons in 3d subshell. So this is definitely our correct answer. Fe3 plus and CO3 plus again would not have the same number of unpaired electrons as we have already determined. So option C in this question, all the 3 ions have the same number of unpaired electrons and will be expected to have the similar values of the spinoli magnetic moment. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 4 elements from group 16 of the periodic table, and we have to tell what is the correct order of the first electron affinity of these elements. The elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, and tellurium. We know that because of small size of oxygen, the addition of electron is not highly favorable, although the electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is negative. But because of the small size of oxygen, electron-electron repulsions act, and as a result, the electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is less negative than that of sulfur, which means that sulfur has the highest magnitude of electron gain enthalpy here. Selenium less than sulfur, tellurium less than selenium. In fact, oxygen has the lowest magnitude of electron gain enthalpy. So the correct order for electron affinity would be in this question sulfur, selenium, tellurium, and oxygen, which would be option C here. That would be the correct answer. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given some molecules and we have to find out how many molecules among the following violate the octet rule. According to the octet rule, an atom combines either by sharing of valence electrons or by transfer of valence electrons in order to have 8 electrons in its valence shell. So let us start with BRF5. The central atom is bromine that has 7 electrons in its valence shell, but it is bonded to 5 fluorine atoms. Each fluorine atom contributes 1 electron because it forms single covalent bond. So the total number of electrons in the valence shell of bromine in BRF5 would be 12. So definitely BRF5 violates octet rule. Let us look at SF6. Sulfur has 6 valence electrons and it is bonded to 6 fluorine atom, each of which gives 1 electron. So total number of electrons in the valence shell of sulfur in SF6 would also be 12. This also violates octet rule. Coming to IF7, the central atom is iodine that has 7 valence electrons because it is a halogen and it is bonded to 7 fluorine atoms again. So the total number of electrons on iodine in IF7 would be 14. So this is also an exception to the octet rule. Coming to XeOF4, here the central atom is xenon, which is a noble gas. So it has 8 valence electrons. It is bonded to 1 oxygen that shares 2 electrons with the xenon, and it has 4 fluorine atoms, each of which gives 1 electron. So this would be 8 plus 2, 10 plus 4, 14 electrons. So this is also an exception to the octet rule. Coming to ClF2, chlorine is a central atom because it is less electronegative than fluorine. It has 7 valence electrons and 2 fluorine atoms contribute 2 electrons to a total of 9 electrons. This is also an exception to the octet rule. Now the last species is PCl4 plus here. Phosphorus has 5 valence electrons, but positive charge means 1 electron is lost. So we have 5 minus 1, 4, and there are 4 chlorine atoms. Each chlorine atom again gives 1 electron. So we have 4 plus 4, 8 electrons. So PCl4 plus obeys octet rule. So how many species are here that violate the octet rule? BRF5, SF6, IF7, XeOF4, and ClF2. So total species is 5. So 5.00 is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given 10 compounds, which are phenol derivatives or alcohol in the case of 9th. And the question is, how many of these are stronger acids than phenol? So phenol is an acid because of the presence of polar OH bond, and also because the conjugate base of phenol, which is phenoxyidine, is stabilized by the resonance with the help of benzene ring. Please remember that because the conjugate base of an acid has negative charge, it is the electron withdrawing groups that increase acidity, whereas electron donating groups intensify the charge on the conjugate base and reduce its acidic strength. So for example, in molecule 1, we have methyl at meta position, which will exert plus I effect. That is an electron donating group. So this will not be more acidic than phenol. In case of compound 4, halogens also they show minus I and plus M effect, but actually their minus I effect dominates, which means that they do donate electrons through mesomeric, but that effect is not very pronounced. In fact, minus I effect is the reason that parachlorophenol is slightly more acidic than phenol itself. So this is one of our correct options. In molecule 3, we have ethoxy group here, which is again exerting a strong plus M effect, reducing its acidity. In option 4, we have another OH at meta position, which will exert minus I effect, increasing the acidic strength of this OH group. In molecule 5, which is catechol, although this OH group is at ortho position, but this results in something interesting, intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So as this molecule loses a proton and it forms O minus, the other OH group actually stabilizes conjugate base through this intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and the first pK of catechol is found to be lower than that of phenol. So this is again going to be more acidic than phenol. Here we have methoxy group, again because of plus M effect. This is not going to be more acidic than phenol. If this methoxy group is attached at meta position, then it will exert minus I effect. And yes, now because of its electron withdrawing nature, acidity will be enhanced. Again, if this OCH3 is at para position, then just like ethoxy, it will exert plus M effect, decreasing its acidic strength. Molecule 9 is an alcohol, and alcohols are significantly less acidic than phenols because here the negative charge is not stabilized by resonance. So we can see here that this is benzyl alcohol, so the negative charge is not stabilized by resonance. In molecule 10, we have this group, which is overall plus M effect showing group because oxygen has two lone pairs. So this lone pair can be shared here. And as a result, this double bond can be shared with the benzene ring. The pi electrons of this double bond can be shared with the benzene ring. So overall, it's an electron donating group. So molecule 10 will also be less acidic. So how many of the following molecules are stronger acids than phenol? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So the total number of molecules would be 4 that are more acidic than phenol. So 4.00 would be the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we are given two different alcohols which are being heated with sulfuric acid. And in the major product of these two reactions, we have to count the number of deuterium atoms. So as per the question, the number of deuterium atoms in product 1 is X and that in the product 2 is Y. Then what is the value of X by Y? Let us start by looking at the first molecule. The dehydration of alcohols generally involves 3 steps. First, the OH group is protonated. It creates a good leaving group, water, which then leaves. And here we get a carbocation. Now this carbocation is already a tertiary carbocation. So the next step would be the loss of H plus to form an alkene. This is the alpha position, this is one beta position, and this is another beta position. We can see that there is no hydrogen on the beta carbon to the left of this. So there is one hydrogen here that we can remove. So this reaction is now followed by deprotonation, and the product of the first elimination reaction is this. So the question is, what is the number of deuterium atoms in 1? We can clearly see there are 9 deuterium atoms, so X is equal to 9. In the second molecule, when it is heated with H2SO4, OH group departs as water, creating a carbocation. This is the structure of carbocation. Now we have to remove a hydrogen from beta position. This is the alpha position, this is one beta position, this is another beta position. We can see that there are 4 atoms, 3 deuterium and 1 hydrogen. But as CH bond is weaker than CD bond, the departure of this hydrogen is easier. So here this hydrogen leaves and the alkene that is formed is this one. So we can clearly see that in the product 2, the value of Y, that is the number of deuterium atoms, is 3, and hence the value of X by Y is 9 by 3, that is 3.00. That is the correct answer to this question. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we have a complex that is Mn, En twice, Cl2. That is the central atom is manganese. There are 2 symmetrical bidentate ligands, ethylene diamine, and there are 2 chlorido ligands. we have to tell the total number of cis N Mn Cl bond angles. As in, we have to count the total number of bond angles that involve manganese as the central atom and a nitrogen atom and another chlorine atom in a cis fashion. So we will draw the structure of this isomer here. The isomer has to be cis. It is clearly mentioned in the question, which means that the two chlorine atoms cannot be at an angle of 180 degree. So this two position can be taken as the positions for chloride ions, and the remaining four positions can be occupied by the two ethylene diamine ligands. So this is the structure of cis MnEn2Cl2. Now we have to count the number of cis N-MnCl bonds. So let us take this chlorine. This chlorine, manganese and nitrogen, we have one bond. This chlorine, manganese and nitrogen, we have second bond. And this chlorine, manganese and nitrogen, we have three cis N-MnCl bonds. We will not count this nitrogen because this chlorine, this manganese and this nitrogen, they are trans. They are at an angle of 180 degree. So there are three N-MnCl bonds with respect to this chlorine. Similarly, we can see with respect to this chlorine has Cl-MnN, Cl-MnN and Cl-MnN. These three bonds are cis N-MnCl bond. We will not count this nitrogen now because this chlorine, Mn and nitrogen, these two are trans with respect to each other. So there would be a total of 3 plus 3, 6 bond angles as per the question. So 6.00 would be the correct answer. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this question, we have to find out the number of acidic oxides from the following. The oxides are carbon monoxide, germanium monoxide, tin monoxide, lead dioxide, tin dioxide, germanium dioxide, and silicon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is neutral. That is, when it is dissolved in water, the pH remains 7. Germanium oxide is acidic. Tin oxide, lead dioxide, and tin dioxide, these are amphoteric. So please remember, both the monoxides as well as the dioxides of both the metals tin and lead, they are amphoteric in nature, which is SNO, SNO2, PbO and PbO2. All these four oxides are amphoteric in nature. Next, germanium dioxide is also acidic. And lastly, silicon dioxide, this is also an acidic oxide. So the total number of acidic oxides among the following is germanium oxide, germanium dioxide, and silicon dioxide, that is 3. So the correct answer would be 3.00. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Firoz Khan, Master Teacher of Mathematics here at Vedanta. So in this video, we are going to discuss the mathematics paper which was conducted very recently. So here is the question on your screen, and it is based on probability. A 7-digit number is formed using these 7 digits. The probability that this number is divisible by 2. So see, any number is divisible by 2 if the unit digit is even. That means the unit digit must be 4. So now there are total 7 possibilities for the unit digit. Unit digit can be any of these 7 digits. 7 digits are given to you. The total number of cases is 7 here. 7 cases means a unit digit can be any of these 7. But the favorable case, unit digit must be 4. So favorable case 3. So hence the probability is 3 by 7 here. So means option D is the correct option here. This is the shortcut way of doing this question. Let's see the next question. So here is the next question. A tetrahedron has vertices P, Q, R, O. So then angle between the faces OPQ and PQ. So these OPQ and PQ are basically two planes, and angle between two planes is same as the angle between their normals. So first you have to find the normals to these two planes. So let's find the normal to the plane OPQ first. So let me call this normal as N1. And this normal will be basically OP cross OQ. So let's find OP cross OQ. This is I, J, K. OP is basically position vector of P, which is 1, 2, 1. OQ is position vector Q, which is 2, 1. If you expand this, you are getting 6 minus 1, 5i. Then you are getting 3 minus 2, 3 minus 2 minus j. Then you are getting 1 minus 4 minus 3. Let's find normal to the second plane, N2 vector. Normal to the plane PQR can be written as PQ cross PR. Well, let's write PQ cross QR. PQ cross QR. So again, I, J, K. PQ is basically Q minus P. So 2 minus 1, 1 minus 2, and then 3 minus 1. Let's check again. 2 minus 1, 1, 1 minus 2, minus 1, 3 minus 1, and then QR. QR is basically R minus Q. So minus 3, 0, and minus 1. If I expand this determinant, I am getting I here. Then I am getting minus 1 plus 6, minus 1 plus 6, minus 5j. And then I am getting minus 3k. So let's find the angle between these two vectors, cos theta. That will be n1 dot n2 over mod n1. And it is what? It is basically 5, then again 5, then 9. And if you check the modulus of the two vectors, so 25 plus 1 plus 9, root 35, modulus of the first vector n1. Modulus of the second vector is again same, under root 35. So it is 19 by 35. So hence theta will be cos inverse 19 by 30. This is the acute angle between the two faces OPQ and PQ. But they have not given cos inverse 19 by 35 in the option. Cos inverse minus 19 by 35 is given. So hence correct option is B. Actually, cos inverse minus 19 by 35 is the obtuse angle between these two planes. Now, the triangle of maximum area that can be inscribed in a given circle of radius r. So keep it as a standard result in your mind. I am stating the result. Result simply says whenever a circle of any given radius r is given and you are inscribing a triangle in the okay. So you have to find the maximum area of the triangle that can be inscribed in a circle of radius r. So whenever a circle is given of radius r and a triangle is inscribed in the circle, so the triangle will have a maximum area if it is equilateral triangle. Keep it as a result in your mind. The triangle will have maximum area if it is equilateral triangle. So basically you have a circle. Let's say this is the circle. And you are inscribing an equilateral triangle in this circle. For maximum area, triangle must be equilateral. Now you have to find the side length of this equilateral triangle. Let's say triangle is ABC. Radius of the circle is r. Let's say center is. This is the radius, which is r. Now if I draw perpendicular from the center to the chord BC, the chord gets bisected. Of course, this angle here is 30 degree. This angle. the cos 30 degree will be what? BD over R. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. And BD is basically half of BC. So BD can be written as BC by 2. So it is BC by 2R. So hence BC is 3R. So for maximum area, your triangle should be equilateral and its side length should be root 3R, right? Next question is based on ITF and a logarithmic series. Tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is pi by 4. Then the sum of this logarithmic series is what? So if I expand ITF formula here, tan inverse A plus tan inverse B formula, so that will be tan inverse A plus B over 1 minus A. This is pi by 4. Tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is tan inverse A plus B over 1 minus A. So this gives you A plus B over 1 minus AB is equal to 1, tan pi by 4. This gives you A plus B is equal to 1 minus A. Take everything to the left hand side. So ultimately it can be written as 1 plus A, 1 plus B is equal to 2. 1 plus A into 1 plus B will be 2. Just expand and see, it becomes 1. A plus B is equal to 1 minus AB only. Now see this series. So this series can be written as A minus A square by 2 plus A cube by 3 up to infinity. Then B minus B square by 2 plus B cube by 3 again up to infinity. And this is nothing but logarithmic series log of 1 plus A, log with the base E, and the second one is nothing but log of 1 plus B. So log m plus log n is log mn, so it is 1 plus A into 1 plus B. And as derived earlier, 1 plus A into 1 plus B is 2, so this is basically log 2. And of course base is E here, so it is log 2 with the base E. Now let's take the next question. So this is based on area between sin x and cos x. So they are saying that A1 is the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x, and y axis in the first quadrant. And A2 is the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x, x-axis between 0 and pi by 2. So then which option is correct here? So if I draw the graph of sin x and cos x, let's draw the graph of sin x and cos x. So this is the graph of sin x between 0 and pi. This is sin x between 0 and pi. And cos x between 0 and pi by 2 is this. This is cos x between 0 and pi by 2. So now they are saying that A1 is the area bounded by y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x, and y axis. So this area is basically A1. This area is A1. This area. And A2 is the area bounded by y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x, and x axis from 0 to pi by 2. So y is equal to sin x and y is equal to cos x and x axis from x is equal to 0. This is the area A2. This area is A2. So let's find A1 plus A2 first. So A1 plus A2 is basically what? A1 plus A2 is nothing but 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx, which is straight away 1. This is A1. And if I find A1 only, so of course this point is this one is pi by 4 here, this one. So A1 will be 0 to pi by 4, upper curve minus lower curve. So cos x minus sin x. Integrate it, it becomes sin x plus cos x. 0 to pi by 4. Now substitute the limit, upper limit cos sin pi by 4, 1 by root 2, cos pi by 4, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2 is root 2. Lower limit minus 1. So this is A1. And what will be A2? So A2 will be 1 minus root 2 minus, which is 2 minus root 2. Or you can say root 2 times root 2 minus. So what is the ratio? A1 by A2. A1 by A2 is 1 by. So hence B option is correct option here. A1 by A2 is 1 by root 2 and A1 plus A2 is, option B should be the correct option. Now fx is sin inverse x, gx is x square minus x minus 2 over 2x square minus x minus 6. And g2 is limit x approaching to 2gx. So see, basically gx can be written as, if I factorize numerator and denominator here, so numerator can be factorized as x minus 2, x plus 1. And denominator can be factorized as x minus 2, 2x plus 3. 2x square, 3x minus 4x minus. So obviously, what will be this limit? G2. So it is limit x approaching to 2. Numerator and denominator x minus 2 cancel. So it is x plus 1 over 2x plus 3. So this limit will be 2 plus 1, 3 and 4 plus 3, 7. So G2 is basically 3 by 7. And obviously sin inverse x is defined at this G2, means at x is equal to at G2, yes, at G2 sin inverse x is defined. Sin inverse G2 will be defined. Now, but I need the domain of the function f of g. So f of gx will be what? Obviously, fx is defined when x lies between minus 1 and 1. So f of gx is defined if gx lies between minus 1 and 1. Gx must lie between minus 1 and 1. Or you can say that mod gx should be less than or equal. And mod gx is basically what? Mod gx is basically x plus 1 over 2x plus 3. X minus 2 can be cancelled from the numerator and denominator, because at x is equal to 2, function is defined separately at 3 by 7. Now I can cross multiply and do squaring both sides. So x plus 1 whole square is less than or equal to 2x plus 3 whole square. So this gives you x square plus 2x plus 1, 4x square plus 12x plus 9. So it is 3x square plus 10x plus 8 greater than or equal to 0. and it can be factorized as x plus 2 into 3x plus 4. So this gives you x belongs to minus infinity to minus 2 union minus 4 by 3 to. So that means f of gx is defined when x belongs to minus infinity to minus 2 union minus 4 by 3 to infinity. But one more thing I should check here. Can I take minus 3 by 2? Because at minus 3 by 2, this function gx is not defined. This function gx is not defined at minus 3 by 2. So is minus 3 by 2 is lying between these two, minus infinity to minus 2 union minus 4 by 3 to infinity. So actually minus 3 by 2 will be what? Minus 3 by 2 will be minus 1.5 and minus 4 by 3 is minus 1.33. So in fact, it is not lying between these intervals. Let me check here. My function is defined from minus infinity to minus 2 f of gx closed and then minus 4 by 3 to infinity on this side. I need to check whether minus 3 by 2 lies in this interval. So actually minus 3 by 2 is minus 1.5, which will be somewhere here. So it is already not lying in this interval. So that means the B option is correct option here. So option B will be correct. Now let's see this question based on circle. A and B are two given points. P is a point on the circle. PA square plus PB square has maximum value. Then what will be the maximum value of PA square plus PB square? To see any point P on this circle in parametric form can be taken as, see, radius of the circle is 1, center is 1 comma 1. So P can be taken as 1 plus cos theta, 1 plus sin theta, parametric form. So any point P on this circle can be taken as 1 plus cos theta, 1 plus sin theta. Now let's find PA square plus PB square. PA square is what? 1 plus cos theta minus 1 whole square. So cos square theta. PB square is what? 1 plus sin theta minus 4 whole square. So it is sin theta minus 3 whole square. In fact, I'm writing PA square only. So PA square is 1 plus cos theta minus 1 whole square cos square theta. And then 1 plus sin theta minus 4 sin theta minus 3. This is PA square. Now let's write PB square. So PB square will be what? 1 plus cos theta minus 1. So again cos square theta. And 1 plus sin theta plus 5. So basically sin theta plus 6 whole square. Now if you simplify this, so this will give you cos square theta plus sin square theta 1 here, cos square theta plus sin square theta 1 here. So you got 2. Then you will get here minus 6 sin theta and here 12 sin theta. So 12 minus 6 means plus 6 sin. And then you will get 9 and 36, 45. So basically it is 47 plus 6 sin. And sin theta is maximum 1. So of course it is less than or equal to 53. So maximum value will be 53 here. Means option B should be the correct option, right? Next question is, this question is again based on a circle. So they are saying that what is the locus of the midpoint of the line segment from the point 3 comma 2 on a point to the circle. in fact, they are saying that if I find the locus of the midpoint of the line segment from the point 3 comma 2 to a point on the circle x square plus y square is equal to 1, so then this locus is also a circle. What will be the radius of this circle? So let's say this fixed point is 3 comma 2a, and I'm taking any point p on the circle. So any point p on this circle x square plus y square is equal to 1 can be taken as cos theta sin theta. P is any point on the circle. Now I need the locus of the middle point of AP. So let's say the locus of the middle point of AP, let's say middle point of AP is x comma y. X comma y is the middle point of AP. So this gives you x is equal to, or you can write 2x is equal to 3 plus cos theta using midpoint formula, and 2y is equal to 2 plus sin theta. 2 plus sin theta, in fact. So this gives you cos theta is equal to 2x minus 3. Sin theta is equal to 2y minus 2. Now use the identity cos square theta plus sin square theta 1. So this gives you 2x minus 3 whole square. 2y minus 2 whole square is equal to. And obviously this locus is a circle. It can also be written as x minus 3 by 2 whole square. Y minus 1 whole square is equal to 1 by 4 or half whole square. So this locus is a circle with radius half. So r is half here. Means option B is the correct option here. Next question is based on differential equation, or you can say integral equations, functional equations. So fx is this function. You have to find the function fx here, right? So you can see that in these functional equations, if I put x0, so f0 will be what? 0 to 0 is 0. So e and e raised to 0 is 1. So f0 is 1 here. F0 is 1. In fact, you can just try the option also. Okay, which option gives you f0 1? Which option gives you f0 is equal to 1? So in fact, first option gives you, if I put x is equal to 0, so here yes, it is giving 1. Second option, e raised to 0 is not giving 1. Third option is yes, it is giving 1. Fourth option is e raised to 0 1. It's not giving 1. So means A and C will be the correct option, either A or C. But anyhow, let's solve this. If I differentiate it, f dash x, using Leibniz rule on the left side, so it will be e raised to x fx. E raised to x fx plus derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x. And now it is a differential equation. It can be written as dy by dx minus e raised to x into y is equal to e raised to x. Y is fx. And you can see that it is a linear differential equation. dy by dx p by q. And or it can be variable separable also. You can separate the variable. So you can solve it by using variable separable or linear differential equation. Now its integrating factor is what? E raised to x. So its integrating factor is e raised to x. So hence solution can be written as left side y into integrating factor, right side q into integrating factor, left side y into integrating factor, right side q into. Now it is y e raised to x. And right side, if you put e raised to x as t, it is e raised to t dt. So right side is also e raised to x plus c. Now how will you get c? So f0 is 1, means y0 is 1. If I put x0, so y will be 1. So put x0 here, y as 1 here. So it is E. X0, so E raised to, yes, E, Y is 1. It is also E plus C. So C comes out to be 0. I think I'm doing some mistake. Let me check. F dash x is E raised to X Fx plus E raised to X. It is right. Dy by dx minus E raised to xy. Mistake here. It is dy by dx plus py is equal to q. P is actually minus E raised to x. So I have minus sign here. So I will have minus sign here. So I will have y into integrating factor, which is minus sign here. Q into integrating factor. So it is minus sign here. Minus E raised to minus E raised to. Now if you differentiate, if you put E raised to x as t, so it's in fact it will be minus E raised to minus E raised to x here. Now if you put x is equal to, it is also minus sign here. Yes. Now if I put E raised to x as 0, so left side will be E raised to 0, 1. So E, yes, it is 1 to E raised to 0, 1. Yes. So actually it is E raised to minus 1 here. And here also it is minus E raised to 0, 1. So minus 1 plus C. So C will be what? C will be 2 E raised to minus 1. Now if I put the value of C here, so it is Fx, y is Fx, E raised to minus E raised to x, minus E raised to minus E raised to x, plus 2 E raised to minus 1. 2 E raised to minus 1 in fact. Here. Now if I divide the whole equation by E raised to minus E raised to x, so Fx will be what? Minus 1 plus 2 times E raised to x minus 1. So basically A option should be the correct option here. Now this question is based on matrices and determinants. 3 linear equations in 3 variables are given and some options are given here. This equation has a unique solution if 5a is to b plus c, no solution for all a, b, c, infinitely many solutions when 5a is equal to 2b plus c, and unique solution for all a, b, c. So what I will do here, I will not solve it using matrices and determinant. I will just eliminate one of the 3 variables. So see, if I multiply the first equation by 3 and subtract the second equation, what I'm doing, let's say this is first equation, this is second equation, this is third equation. I'm multiplying the first equation by 3 and then subtracting the second equation. So I will get what? 3x minus 2x, which is x. 6y disappears. Then minus 9z plus 11z, minus 9 plus 11, so 2z. And right side will become 3a minus b. And if I add first and third equation, if I add first and third equation, so I'm getting 2x, 2y cancel, plus 4z is equal to a plus c. So this is same as x plus 2z is equal to a plus c by 2. Now you can see that, let's say this is equation number 4, this is equation number 5. So you can see that these are parallel planes, x plus 2z, x plus 2z. So if 3a minus b and a plus c by 2 are different, if 3a minus b and a plus c by 2 are different, then it will not give you any solution. And if 3a minus b and a plus c by 2 are equal, so then there will be infinitely many solutions, because in that case 4 and 5 will become same. So for infinitely many solution, this 3a minus b and a plus c by 2 should become same. So this is 6a minus 2b is equal to a plus. So this gives you 5a is equal to 2b plus. So if 5a is 2b plus c, then this system will give you infinitely many solutions. Means option C is correct option here. This question is based on exponential series. So before doing this question, let's note down some results first, which I will be using here. If you take n varying from 0 to infinity, n varying from 0 to infinity, 1 by n factorial. So basically it is 1 by 0 factorial plus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial up to infinity. It is E. It is what? It is E. Now, if you take n varying from 0 to infinity, minus 1 raised to n by n factorial, means 1 by 0 factorial minus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial minus 1 by 3 factorial. So it is 1 by e raised to minus 1. Now, if you add these two, so you will get what? You will get 2 times 1 by 0 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 4 factorial, means even factorial in the denominator. That will be e plus e raised to minus 1. So you can say that 1 by 0 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 4 factorial up to infinity is e plus e raised to minus 1. And if you subtract these two, so you will get 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 5 factorial up to infinity e minus e raised to minus 1. So when you have even factorial only, 1 by 0 factorial, 1 by 2 factorial, 1 by 4 factorial up to infinity, e plus e raised to minus 1 by 2, 2 goes to the right side. And odd factorial only, 1 by 1 factorial, 1 by 3 factorial, 1 by 5 factorial. So e minus e raised to minus 1 by 2. So this question is based on these series. Now in the denominator, you can see I have odd factorial, 2n plus 1 factorial. So I will try to write the numerator also as in terms of 2n plus 1 only. So what I will do here, my expansion is what? It is sigma n varying from 1 to infinity. Denominator is 2n plus 1 factorial. So I need 2n here. So I need 2n here. So that in fact, if I multiply with 2, so this will become 2n square plus 2n 6n. And 2n square plus 6n, if I take 2n common, means what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to write the numerator in terms of 2n plus 1 only. So see, I need what? If I write here 2n plus 1 into 2n. So this will give you what? This will give you 4n square plus 2n. 4n square plus 2n. So I'm multiplying. Okay, let me multiply first. Let me multiply the numerator by 4 first. So it is 4n square plus 24n plus 40 and 1 by 4 here. Now I can write it as 1 by 4 sigma n varying from 1 to infinity 2n plus 1 factorial. Now let's write 2n plus 1 into 2n first. So see, it is becoming what? It is becoming 4n square plus 2n. 4n square plus 2n. But I have 24n. So let's write 22n here plus 40. You can check. It will become 4n square plus 2n and 22 and 24n plus 40. Now divide. So 1 by 4 sigma n varying from 1 to infinity. If I divide this numerator 2n plus 1 2n by this denominator, so 2n plus 1 cancel, 2n cancel, so it will be 1 by 2n minus 1 factorial. Then I have 1 by 4 sigma n varying from 1 to infinity 22n plus 40. 22n plus 40, so I can write it as, let me write it again as 2n plus 1. So I can write it as 11 into 2n plus 1. So it is 22n plus 11. So that means I have to write 29 here. Divided by 2n plus 1 factorial. Now you can see that if I expand here n varying from 1 to infinity, so this will give you 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 2. It is odd factorial actually. So this will be e minus e raised to minus 1 by 2, the first one. Now the second one, 1 by 4 n varying from 1 to infinity. So here you will get, in fact, 11 by 4, not 1 by 4. 11 is also n. 2n plus 1 over 2n plus 1 factorial. So 1 by 2n factorial here, even one. And then 29 by 4 n varying from 1 to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 factorial. So it is e minus e raised to minus 1 by 8. Here it is 11 by 4. Now you can see that if I put n varying from 1 to infinity, so it will start from 1 by 2 factorial, 1 by 2 factorial, 1 by 4 factorial, 1 by 6 factorial. So it can be written as e plus e raised to minus 1 by 2 minus 1. Why minus 1 is subtracted? Why 1 is subtracted here? Because it is starting from 1 by 2 factorial, not with 1 by 0 factorial. So that 1 by 0 factorial is subtracted. And here also 29 by 4. This is an odd one. 1 by 3 factorial. It is starting from 1 by 3 factorial. So this is e minus e raised to minus 1 by 2. Here also 1 will be subtracted. After that, it is just simplification thing. Just simplify and get your answer. So if you simplify this one, so your final answer will be what? Your final option will be C. So simplify and check yourself. It will become C only. Minus 11. By 4, 11 by 4, 40 by 4. Yes, it is minus 10. So if you simplify, you will get your answer, which is option C. See this question based on greatest integer function and range. So you have to get the range of this function in the interval 1 to 3. So your function is what? This function can be written as, if I take the interval 1 to 2 first, if x lies between 1 and 2, so then your function is x over x square plus 1. Integral part is 1. And x over x square plus 1 in 1 to 2, just check whether it is increasing function or decreasing function in the interval 1 to 2. So if I check its derivative, So denominator whole square, denominator derivative of numerator, then numerator derivative of denominator. So it is 1 minus x square over x square plus 1 whole square. And you can see that this derivative is negative in this interval 1 to 2. For x greater than 1, derivative is negative. That means your function fx is decreasing in the interval 1 to 2. So in this interval 1 to 2, your function belongs to, obviously maximum value will be at 1, minimum value will be at 2 because it is decreasing. So at 2 its value is 2 by 5 and at 1 its value is 1 by 2. So range is 2 by 5 to 1 by 2 here. If I'm taking the interval 1 to 2. Now if I'm taking the interval 2 to 3. So your function fx is what? 2x over x square plus 1. And in this interval again, your function is decreasing. So range will be what? Minimum will be at 3, maximum will be at 2. So at 3 it is, at 3 it will be 6 by 10. 6 by 10 means 3 by 5. And at 2 it is 4 by 9. So range will be basically the union of these two intervals. So see, the first interval starts from 2 by 5 and then it is half. Second interval is 3 by 5 to 4 by 9. 3 by 5 to 4 by 9. So first is 2 by 5 to half. Second is 3 by 5 to 4 by 9. Half is 0.5. So, and in fact, function is continuously decreasing. So it is basically what? It is basically 0.4 to 0.5. First interval. And second interval is what? 0.6 and 40 to 0.5 something. But decreasing, the value should be decreasing now. Okay, right. So that is 0.4 to 0.5 and this is 0.6 to 4 by 9 is what? In fact, I've done something wrong here. Let me check. At 3 it is what? 6 by 10. Yes, it is 3 by 4. And at 2 here it is 4. Oh, it is 4 by 5 here. This one is. It is 0.6 to 0.8. So range will be basically the union of these two. They are disjoint intervals 0.4 to 0.5 and then 0.6 to 0. So hence your range will be what? Range will be 2 by 5 to half. Then union 3 by 5 to 4 by 5. So 2 by 5 to half union 3 by 5 to 4 by 5 means option D should be the correct option. See this question. This is from 3 dimension. The length of the perpendicular from the point 2 minus 1 4 on the line x plus 3 by 10 y minus 2 by minus 7 and z by. So you are given a line here. Let's say this is your line. And on this line you are drawing a perpendicular from the point, let's say A, 2 minus 1 4. And foot of the perpendicular is, let's say, P. P is on this line. So I can choose P as 10 lambda minus 3 minus 7 lambda plus 2 and lambda. Any point on this line, general point, can be taken as 10 lambda minus 3 minus 7 lambda plus 2 and lambda. Now if I find AP vector, So AP vector is 10 lambda minus 5 minus 7 lambda plus 3 and lambda minus 4. And if I choose a vector along this line, vector along this line is basically direction ratios of the line. Direction ratios of the line are 10 minus 7 and 1. The vector along this line is 10 minus 7 and 1. So of course AP vector dot Q vector should be 0. AP vector is this, Q vector is this. So 10 into 10 lambda minus 5. So it is 100 lambda minus 50. Then 49 lambda minus 21. Then lambda minus 4. It should be 0. So it is 150 lambda. And here it is what? 75. So lambda becomes half. If lambda is half, so you got your point P. P point is 10 by 2, which is 5 minus 3, minus 7 by 2 plus 2, so minus 3 by 2, and half. And now you can easily find the distance A using distance formula. So A is known, P is known. Let's not waste the time. Just use distance formula. You will get your distance A. So if you use distance formula, ultimately, so this AP distance comes out to be under root 50 by 4. Under root 50 by 4 means roughly it is 3.54. 3.54 means this distance will lie between 3 and 4. So option A is correct option here. So just use distance formula, distance between A and P. That will be your answer. Next question is based on continuity. This function is a continuous function. So what will be A plus B? So since function is continuous, so at x is equal to minus 1 first, left hand limit and right hand limit should be equal. When x approaches to minus 1, you can see it will become sine of pi by 2, 1, so left hand limit is 2. And right hand limit at x is equal to minus 1 is mod A minus 1 plus B. This is equation number. Now at x is equal to 1, again function is continuous, so again left hand limit and right hand limit should be equal. At x is equal to 1, left hand limit is A plus 1 plus B and right hand limit is 0. So this gives you A plus B is equal to minus 1. And you can see that K plus B is equal to minus 1 satisfies the first condition also. So correct answer will be minus 1, which is option D. For any three positive real numbers A, B, C, which option is correct here? B, C, A are in AP, A, B, C are in AP, A, B, C are in GP, and B, C are in G. So basically, you can use this identity here. X square plus Y square plus Z square minus XY minus YZ minus ZX. If this is 0, so then x is equal to y is equal to z. This is very important identity. Whenever x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx is 0, x is equal to y is equal to z. Actually, x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx is always greater than or equal to 0. Minimum value is 0 and minimum is achieved when x is equal to y is equal to z. So you can see that this expression is basically 225a square, then 9b square, then 25c square, then minus 15ab, minus 15 45ab, not 15ab, minus 15bc, and minus 75 AC is equal to. And you can see that it can be written as 15a whole square 9b is 3b whole square, then 5c whole square, then 15a into 3b, then 3b into 5c, then 5c into 15a. So now you can see it is basically x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx0. And it is possible only when x is equal to y is equal to z. So 15a, 3b, and 5c, they are equal. So you can say that b is actually 5a and c is actually 3a. So hence your numbers are basically a, b is 5a, and c is 3a. So 135 is AP. So that means A, C, B are in AP. A, C, B. Or you can write reverse order also. If A, C, B are in AP, so then B, C, A are also in AP. So either you write A, B, A, C, B or B, C, A. Means option A is correct option here. In option A, you can find B, C, A are in AP. See, this next question is based on differential equations. Rate of change problem actually. The rate of growth of a bacteria in a culture is proportional to the number of bacteria present at any point of time. And when T is 0, the count is 1000 number of bacteria, and it is increased by 20% in 2 hours. Then population becomes 2000 after this time, K over log 6 by 5. So what will be K over log 2 hours? So let's say at any point of time, X denotes the, let's say at any point of time, X denotes the number of bacteria present, and T denotes the time. So they are saying that dx by dt is proportional to X. So you can say that dx is dx by dt is kx, where k is any constant. Here actually I need k by log 6.5. So let me denote this rate proportionally constant by not k, let it denote by c, cx. C is any constant. There are rate of growth of bacteria in a culture is yes. So I can write dx by x c dt. If I integrate it, so I'm getting log x is equal to ct plus some constant. Let's write this constant as a. A is the constant of integration here. Now when t is 0, if t is 0, so then population is 1000, x is 1000, so log 1000, t is 0, so that will be a. So a is basically log 1000. And when t is 2, after 2 hours, population is increased by 20%. That means ki x is 1200. 20% of 1000 is 200, so 1200. And 2c, t is 2, so 2c plus a is log 1000. So this gives you c is equal to half log 1200 minus log 1000, so log 12 by 10 or 6 by 5. Now they are saying that if I take the time as, if the population of bacteria after this time, if I take the time as k by log 6 over 5, so number of bacteria will be 2000. So if t is equal to k over log 6 by 5, then x is 2000. So in this equation, put x is equal to 2000. C is basically what? Half log 6 by 5. T is given as K over log 6 by 5. And A we have already found, which is 1000. A is log 1000. It is log 2000 here. Now log 2000 minus log 1000, that will become log 2. And here I am getting K by 2. So this gives you K by log 2 is 2. And hence K by log 2 whole square is 2 square, which is 4. So option D is the correct option here. Means 4 is the correct answer. A and B are two non-zero vectors perpendicular to each other. Mod A is mod B. Mod A cross B is A. So then what will be the angle between the vectors A plus B plus A cross B and A? See, it is given that A and B are two perpendicular vectors. Modulus is same. So you can assume A as I, B as J. So mod of A cross B will become mod A, which is in fact mod of A cross B is 1 because A and B are perpendicular. So you can easily do this question by taking A is equal to I, B is equal to J. So, or in general way, if you want to find the general method, see particular method, the easier method will be just take A is equal to I, B is equal to J, you will get your answer. A is equal to I, B is equal to J, get your answer. But let's check the general method also. So mod A and mod B both are same. Mod A cross B is A. So see, mod A cross B can be written as mod A mod B sine theta, AB sine theta. And A and B both are same, so it is A square. But it is given that mod A cross B is A only, so A square is A only. So this gives you A is equal to 1. And if A is 1, so then B is also 1. So A and B both modulus are 1 here. Now let's find the modulus of this A plus B plus A cross B. So if I do the squaring of A plus B plus A cross B whole square, so I will get A square plus B square plus A cross B whole square. And we have already shown here A and B both 1. So A square 1, B square 1, and A cross B is also same as mod A. So A cross B is also 1. So which is 3. And why we have not written here A plus B plus C whole square is A square plus B square plus C square plus 2AB plus 2BC plus 2C. But I have not written 2AB because A and B are perpendicular. So 2A dot B is 0. Then 2A dot C is also 0. A dot A cross B will be 0. 2B dot C is also 0. So length is 3. Now let's find the angle between A and A plus B plus A cross B. So cos theta will be what? Cos theta will be A plus B plus A cross B dot A over modulus of these two. The modulus of this first one is 3. In fact, it is root 3. Square of the modulus is 3. A plus B plus A cross B whole square is 3. So this is root 3. Modulus of A is 1. Now numerator is A dot A, which is 1. A dot B, which is 0. A dot A cross B is also 0. Root 3. So hence theta is cos inverse 1 by root 3 here, which is option B. See this question based on binomial and maxima minima. Combined concept of binomial and maxima minima both will be used here. So first you have to find the term independent of t, and then the maximum value of the term independent of t. So let's write the general term here, tr plus 1 first. Tr plus 1 is what? 10 cr. Tx raised to 1 by 5 raised to 10 minus r, and then 1 minus x raised to 1 by 10 over T whole raised to r. This is the general term. It can be written as 10CR. T raised to 10 minus 2r. X raised to 10 minus r by 5. And then 1 minus x raised to r by 10. Now, obviously, for the term independent of t, this 10 minus 10 2r, power of t should be 0. So 10 minus 2r should be 0. So r is 5. So what is the term independent of t? The term independent of t put r is equal to 5 here. So it is 10c5 x raised to 1, 10 minus 5 by 5, and then 1 minus x raised to half, so under root 1 minus. Now you need its maximum value. What will be the maximum value of 10c5 x under root 1 minus x? So just try to find the maximum value of this fx first. Fx is x under root 1 minus x. If I differentiate it to get maximum minimum, its derivative is under root 1 minus x plus x into 1 by 2 under root 1 minus x into minus 1. If I put the derivative 0, so I'm getting 2 times 1 minus x is equal to x. 2 is equal to 3x, so x is 2 by 3. So actually for maximum value, x should be 2 by 3 here. So what will be the maximum value? Maximum value is 10c5, which is 10 factorial, 5 factorial, 5 factorial, means 5 factorial whole square. Then x is 2 by 3 and 1 minus x is 1 by root 3. So this should be your answer. 2 into 10 factorial in the numerator and in the denominator 3 root 3 5 factorial whole square, which is option B, second option. B option. Next question is based on matrices. A is a symmetric matrix of order 2 with integer entries. If the sum of diagonal elements of A square is 1, then possible number of such matrices. So what they are saying, A is a matrix of second order and it is symmetric. So since it is symmetric, I can take it as A, B, B, C. Since it is symmetric, so A12 and A21 should be same. Diagonal can be anything. Now if I multiply A with A square, so A square will be what? AB, BC, and then again AB, BC. Just multiply it. So you are getting what? First row, first column. So you are getting A square, first row, first column, A square plus B square. First row, second column, AB plus BC, or B times A plus C. Second row, first column, again B times A plus C. And second row, second column is B square plus C square. And they have given that the sum of diagonal elements of this A square is 1. So if I use the diagonal, if I add the diagonal elements here, A square plus B square and B square plus C square, so this sum must be 1. So this gives you A square plus C square plus 2B square is equal to, and A, B, C are integers here. So since A, B, C are integers, so that means A square plus C square is equal to 2, A square plus C square plus 2B square is equal to 1. This is possible only when B is 0. So B must be 0 here. If you take any other number other than 0, if you take B anything other than 0, so then left hand side will be greater than or equal to, it cannot become 1. So now A square plus C square is 1. So basically AC can be what? And if A square plus C square is 1, so if A is plus minus 1, C can be 0. Or if A is 0, then C can be plus minus. So basically 4 such matrices are possible here. B option. Next question. This question is from functions. So if A is a set containing 10 elements, f is a function from A to A. Fk is k plus 1 if k is odd, and k if k is even. G is a function from A to A. So what will be G? G is a function from A to A such that g of f is f only. So how many such functions G can be written? Such function G is possible. G is also defined from A to A only. So see, it is given that G of f is f, means G of fx should be fx only. So see, if I put x is equal to 1, so f1 is what? G of f1 should be f1 only. f1 is 2, so g2 is 2. If you put x is equal to 2, again g2 is 2. Similarly, you can check that g4 is 4, g6 is 6, g8 is 8, and g10 is 10. See, if you put x is equal to 1, so g of f1 is f1, f1 is 2, so g2 is 2 only. Similarly, if you put x is equal to 2, again g2 will be 2. Put x is equal to 3, so g3, put x is equal to 3, so g of f3 will be f3. So that will give you g4 is equal to 4. So the image of 2 should be 2 only, the image of 4 should be 4 only, the image of 6 should be 6 only, image of 8 should be 8 only, image of 10 should be 10. So I'm writing x here. X is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I write the number of ways of gx, so see, g1 can be any one. In fact, only restriction is that g2 should be 2, g4 should be 4, g6 should be 6, g8 should be 8, so g1 can be any of the 10 numbers. G1 can be 1, G1 can be 2, G1 can be 3. So for G1, you have 10 options. Number of ways of Gx. So G1 can be any one of the 10 numbers. So for G1, I have 10 options. For G2, G2 can be 2 only, so I have 1 option. For G3, again, I have 10 options. G4, 1 option. G5, 10 options. G6, 1 option, because G6 can be 6 only. G7, 10 options. G8, 1 option. G9, 10 options. G10, 1 option. For even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, the image should be that number itself. G2 should be 2 only, G4 should be 4 only, G6 should be 6 only, G8 should be 8 only. So for even numbers, you have only 1 option. And for odd numbers, image can be anything. G1 can be anything. G1 can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, anything. 10 options. So basically, your answer will be 10 raised to 5 here. A is an integer. This question is from theory of equations, or you can say applications of derivative. So A is an integer such that all real zeros of the polynomial lie in a particular interval a to a plus 1. So what will be mod A here? So all real roots of the polynomial equation should lie between a and a plus 1 only. A is an integer. So let me take this function as fx. 2x raised to 5, 5x raised to 4, 10x raised to 3, 10x square plus 10x plus 10. If I differentiate it, so it is 10x raised to 4, 20x square, 20x cube, 30x square, 20x plus 10. If you take 10x square common, so inside the bracket you will have x square plus 1 by x square, then 2 times x plus 1 by x plus 3. And you can see that it can be written as 10x square x plus 1 by x plus 1 का whole square, which is always greater than or equal to 0. So that means your function fx is an increasing function. Derivative is always positive, except 0. At 0, derivative is 0, otherwise derivative is positive. And since function is continuously increasing, so it cannot intersect x-axis more than once. So graph of fx will intersect x-axis at exactly one point. So there will be only one real root. There will be only one real root. Let's say alpha. Now they are saying that these one real root is lying between a and a plus 1. So now I will locate the root just by hit and try. So I can see that f0 is positive, f0 is 10. And for every positive number, fx will be positive. So on the positive side, graph is always above x-axis. So on the positive side, positive x, graph cannot intersect x-axis. So there cannot be any positive real root. Root must be negative. So let's check f of minus 1 here. So just check, if you check f of minus 1, that is also positive. But f of minus 2 is negative. You can check, I'm not checking. F of minus 1 is positive, f of minus 2 is negative. So hence the root must lie in the interval minus 2 to 1, minus 2 to minus 1. And they have given that the root is lying between a and a plus 1. So therefore a is minus 2. A is minus 2 means mod a will be. So mod a is actually. See this question, a very good question of statistics. x1, x2, x3, x18 are 18 observations such that summation xi minus alpha is 36 and summation xi minus beta whole square is 90. Where alpha, beta are distinct real numbers. Standard deviation of these observations x1, x2, x3, x18 is 1. So what will be mod alpha minus beta? So see, if I say, let's say mean of observations xi minus alpha. What is the mean of observation xi minus alpha? Just check the mean. So mean of observation xi minus alpha is summation xi minus alpha by 18, and the summation is 36. So it is 2. So what will be the mean of xi? So just add alpha here. Mean of xi will be 2 plus alpha. Now what will be the mean of xi minus beta? So now subtract beta here. So 2 plus alpha minus beta. So mean of xi minus beta is 2 plus alpha minus beta. And standard deviation of xi will be same as standard deviation of xi minus beta. If you subtract beta from each observation, standard deviation will remain same. So standard deviation or variance of observations xi minus beta is also 1. Now what will be variance? Variance will be sigma xi minus beta whole square by 18 observations minus mean of these observations minus 2 plus alpha minus beta whole square. This will be variance. Actually, variance is basically what? Mean of a square minus a square of the mean. So mean of a square is xi minus beta whole square by 18, and mean is square of the mean. So mean is already 2 plus alpha minus beta. So it is 90 by 18 here. 90 by 18 means 5 here. 2 plus alpha minus beta whole square. So this gives you 2 plus alpha minus beta whole square, 4. So this gives you 2 plus alpha minus beta plus minus 2. But if I take plus minus 2, then alpha minus beta will become 0. Alpha and beta will be equal. But they are saying alpha beta are different. So you have to take minus sign. So in that case, alpha minus beta will be minus 4. But they are asking mod value of alpha minus beta, alpha and beta. So that will be 4. So 4 is the correct option here. alpha and beta are two real numbers. Alpha plus beta is -1. Alpha into beta is -1. Pn is alpha raised to n plus beta raised to n. Pn minus 1 is 11. Pn plus 1 is 29. So what will be Pn square? Okay. So see, if I multiply alpha plus beta with alpha raised to n plus beta raised to, see what I'm getting. I'm getting alpha raised to n plus 1 plus beta raised to n plus 1 plus alpha beta raised to n plus beta alpha raised to. So this is alpha plus beta into Pn. This is Pn plus 1 and alpha beta taken common here. So Pn minus 1. Put the values. Alpha plus beta is 1. So it is Pn and Pn I don't know. So let's keep it as it is. Pn plus 1 is given as 29. So 29 here. Alpha beta is -1. Pn minus 1 is 11. So it is 18. So hence Pn square is 18 square, which is 320. So 324 is the correct answer here. This question is based on 3 dimension, shortest distance between two lines. Shortest distance between the two lines is given here. It is 9. So what will be alpha? Alpha is positive. So if I check A1 vector here, so that is alpha 2 to alpha 2. A2 vector here, that will be -4 0 -1. So A1 minus A2 vector is alpha plus 4, 2 and 3. A1 vector is alpha 2 2. A2 vector is -4 0 -1. Subtract A1 minus. Now B1 vector is 1 minus 2 2. B2 vector is 3 minus 2 minus 2. Now if you check B1 cross B2, so then I, J, K, 1 minus 2 minus 2, 3 minus 2. B1 is 1 minus 2 2 and B2 is 3 minus 2 minus 2 actually. B2 is 3 minus 2 minus 2. Now let's expand. So it is 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4, 8i. J minus 2 minus 6. Minus 2 minus 6, so plus 8j. And then minus 2 plus 6, so 4k. Let's check again. It is 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4, 8. Then minus 2 minus 6, again 8. Then minus 2 plus 6, 4. Now what will be the shortest distance? Shortest distance is A1 minus A2 dot B1 cross B2 over mod B1 cross B2. And this 4 can be taken common here. So it is 2i plus 2j plus k. Now what is the dot product of A1 minus A2 and B1 cross B2? It is 4 times 2 alpha plus 8 plus 4 plus 3. 2 alpha plus 8 plus 4 plus 3. Now mod B1 cross B2. It is 4 times under root 4 plus 4 plus 1, so into 3. And shortest distance will be basically absolute value of this. And this shortest distance is given as 9. 4 4 cancel here. So you got mod 2 alpha plus 15 is equal to 27. As it is given that alpha is positive, so no need to take mod. 2 alpha will be 12. Alpha will be 6. So basically alpha is 6 here. Next question is based on complex numbers. So k is this complex number, n is integral part of mod k, that you have to get this summation. So first understand that the 1 plus iota raised to 24 is what? It is 1 plus iota whole square raised to 12. It is 1 plus iota whole square raised to 12. And 1 plus iota whole square is 2 iota raised to 12. So basically it is 2 raised to 12. Similarly, 1 minus iota raised to 24 is also 2 raised to 12. Now this 1 plus root 3 iota raised to 21. It can be written as 2 e raised to iota pi by 3 raised to 21, Euler's form. So it is 2 raised to 21 e raised to iota 7 pi. And cos 7 pi is minus 1, sin 7 pi is 0. So basically it is minus 2 raised to 20. Minus 2 raised to 21. Similarly, if you take minus 1 plus root 3 iota raised to 20. So it is 1 minus root 3 iota raised to 20 with minus sign. Minus taken outside. So this is minus 2 e raised to minus iota pi by 3 whole raised to 20. So it is minus 2 raised to 21 e raised to minus iota 7 pi. And again, cos 7 pi is minus 1, sin 7 pi is 0. So it is 2 raised to 21. So that means k is 0. When you put these values here in k, so k is 0. And when k is 0, then n is also 0. Now let's find this summation. So this summation is j varying from 0 to 5, j plus 5 whole square, and j varying from 0 to 5, j plus 5. J varying from 0 to 5, j plus 5 whole square, j varying from 0 to 5, j plus 5. Or you can write it as, it is very simple question of summation, just put the summation here. Or you can put j plus 5 as r. So j will start from 5 to. So it can also be written as sigma r square minus r. R is j plus 5. And j starts from 0 till 5. So r starts from 5 till 10. So it is sigma r square minus r varying from 5 to 10. And you can also write it as sigma r square minus r varying from 1 to 10, minus sigma r square minus r varying from 1 to 4. And just put the values, you will get your answer. So just use sigma r square, sigma r formula, you will get your answer. So final answer will be 310 here. So after simplification, it becomes 310. Right? Chalo. Let's wrap up this video now. See you guys. See you some next time. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you all.